There we go. Should be better. Should be fixed. I don't know why it did that, but here we are. You might hear a bit of a ill-tempered voice because I'm getting over a cold. So don't be mad at me for that. I'm still getting over a cold. I'm feeling okay, so hopefully we'll be fine. Oh, unfortunately, the URL is not currently working, and I still need to fix it, so there is no way to join except through TikTok right now. Such is the way of things. We'll get it sorted eventually, but I just haven't had the time. I changed my headline equals you have a job. What? Howdy, howdy. When is the next Ask a Physicist? It might be tomorrow. I need to catch up on debates because, you know, we need to give the people what they want. So we might do one tomorrow. We might just skip it this week. Drexel Rep sends $5. Thank you so much, Drexel. Big fan of you and the Unapologetic Gang. Keep it cooking. We will. We'll do our best. All right, y'all. Let me open up a notepad really quick. Yeah, I mean, it was the holidays. The chances of us all being able to get together for the holidays just wasn't going to happen. Oh, never mind. They left the guest box. Well, we'll give it a few minutes. We will give it a few minutes. When debating, can you tell between stupidity and mental health issues? Generally, yeah. It's not so hard to tell. Oh, there we go. We have some guests. Let's talk to Cherubim. Cherubim, yo. How's it going?
Good. How you feeling?
You know, I'm getting over a cold, but I'm all right. How you doing?
You?
So, Cherubim, what shape do you think the Earth is?
You said what?
What shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's the part we live on is flat.
Okay. Why so?
I think basic understanding of like symmetry and pressure mediation. Pressure makes diamonds, pressure makes something, pressure makes a plane.
Sorry, I'm a little lost. If
right.
Pressure can make diamonds, and diamonds aren't necessarily planar, then why does it mean that pressure makes a plane?
Because pressure makes, in order for something to be created, it needs 3 points.
I don't understand what that means. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, like geometry. That's why the triangle is the most simple shape you can create, because it's the first plane of existence.
I don't know what that means. Like, triangles are pretty simple. I don't understand how that means that if pressure acts on something, that it makes a plane.
Okay, so for something to exist, it needs a time, it needs matter, and it needs a place to exist. So like something.
Okay, that's fine.
That's a basic. We're
Sure.
good on that? Okay. So in order for something to have a time, to have matter, and to have a space, that is considered to be a domain. And energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred inside an isolated domain. That's like basic law of physics. So
I'm not sure what you mean by a domain here. If you just mean like a region of space, then like fine, I guess.
Yeah, a domain is like a a domain. I don't know how to explain it because like it's a system in which energy flows in a continuous pattern, like a torus structure.
That seems confused. Look, so on what grounds do you think that the Earth is flat? You said that there's pressure. I don't understand how pressure means that the Earth is flat.
Yeah, because it's like the basic way I can explain it is like your lap, right? When you sit down, it creates a plane for you to exist on. So for us to say that the Earth
What?
itself,
What creates a plane for you to exist on?
for like your lap, for
My
example,
lap
when
is
you
a
sit,
plane? My lap is absolutely not planar.
well,
It's like all sorts of bumpy. Like, you know, the legs bend in a certain way and then they cross over each other, and
I mean, like the definition of like a plane, like for something for energy to move on,
what does that have to do with my lap?
because we're on the flat plane. A plane is where lines can run in two directions. On a surface, that's what a plane is. It's a surface, like a table.
Yeah, but lines can run on other types of surfaces as well.
But it's a surface though. It's a flat plane. That's what a plane is. Like the
I mean,
definition.
the surface of a sphere is a surface just as well.
It's flat plane.
Right, so why do you think that the Earth itself is a flat plane?
Because the energy that moves, it's just like a magnet. The energy, flux energy, what we call the sphere, or the what am I thinking about? The ozone layer, the layers of which energy flows. It flows in a torus structure, like a donut.
Energy flows in a torus structure? What energy flows? What energy are we talking about?
The energy inside the domain. Energy cannot be
What
created.
kind of energy? Like, are we talking like are we talking like electrical energy? Are we talking like gravitational potential energy? Are we like what energy are we talking about? Kinetic energy? What are we doing?
I'm just talking about the conservation of energy.
Yeah, so you're saying energy flows in a torus shape, but what kind of energy are we talking about here?
I'm not saying it like personally. This is my personal opinion. This is like the law of conservation of energy. Like,
What
if
does
you
that have to
Google
do with the torus shape?
because in the law of conservation of energy, it says it can't be created nor destroyed, only transferred, only
What does
moved.
that have to do with the torus shape?
Because it's the flow of energy.
A torus shape is the flow of energy?
Yeah.
Why
Because
do you think that?
It's not. It's a law of conservation. That's not my personal opinion or anything. That's like how
toruses aren't
geometry.
mentioned anywhere in the law of conservation of energy. Where did the torus come from? Like where did this come from in your worldview? Like, why is a torus present and not like a sphere or, you know, a two handle body or something else?
Because that's symmetry geometry. So
That's symmetry. What? Spheres are symmetrical.
symmetry geometry, right? But
Spheres are
energy is
symmetrical too. Spheres are actually more symmetrical than toruses.
like the Fibonacci sequence. Anything that's alive it's spiraling into odd numbers, into asymmetry versus symmetry. Symmetry contains energy, and asymmetry is a movement. That's why we have 365 days.
Could you define for me what you think energy is?
Yeah, energy is induction. It's pushing a medium out of symmetry. That's what electricity is. It's a fractal.
Sorry,
it's
do you think that
moving.
that's like a meaningful sentence?
Can you define what induction is?
It depends on the context. Induction in a physics context is a description of a phenomenon in which a magnetic field induces an electric or another magnetic field.
Okay, question.
But I imagine that's not what you're talking about.
What do you think a wave is?
A wave is an excitation or a disturbance in a medium that propagates at a fixed speed and retains its shape.
So wave is a propagation of something?
It's a disturbance that propagates. Look, it sounds like you're using a lot of words in orders that don't make sense. And I'm just curious as to like what your background is in this. Like, have you? I mean, like you're talking about energy. You're talking about laws of physics. You're talking about torus fields. Like, do you have like a background in physics?
Electrical engineering major.
Okay, so how far along are you?
Pre-grad.
Pre-grad. Is that like you haven't gone to undergrad yet?
Hello?
Can you hear me? What does pre-grad mean?
I'm like participating in the. I'm getting my credits to join because you have to get your credits right before you actually join the school, the electrical engineering school. So like I'm doing I'm building my credits.
You mean like to go to a university for electrical engineering?
Yeah.
So you're not.
So you have to,
So you're not an electrical engineering student yet.
no, I'm just getting my. I'm like getting. I don't know how to explain it, but you have to get the particular credits. You have to take the courses.
So you're doing gen eds. Have you taken any electrical engineering courses yet?
No, not any courses.
Okay. So just as a.
But I am in a apprenticeship program though, so we do that.
I believe you. So just as a word of advice, like if this is not something that you're like super familiar with because you haven't taken the courses yet, I would refrain from using language in a way that makes it seem as if you know what you're talking about, because that might be like an effective way of conveying ideas to people who can't challenge you, but to people who do know what they're talking about, it just sounds like you're doing like word salad.
Yeah, I know exactly what I'm talking about though. I think we're.
But you've never taken an electrical engineering course. How can you say that you know exactly what you're talking about?
But it's like you don't need to take a cooking course to know how to cook. Like you don't need to take a basketball course to know how to play.
You probably do need to take a physics course to know what energy conservation is.
But you have not disproven my claim though.
You haven't made any solid claims. You've just spit a whole bunch of word salad, basically.
I said that the Earth operates in a moving field, so it's moving.
What kind of field?
In a torus field.
That's not a kind of field. There are gravitational fields, electric fields, magnetic fields, color fields.
So my question to you would be: when you say there's only one field, there isn't multiple different fields.
What qualities does this field have? Is it a scalar, vector? Is it a pseudo vector? Is it axial? Is it a tensor field?
See, and what you just said, a scalar, a vector is applying there's a direction of something's moving.
I'm asking what kind of field it is. What kind? Right. And no, by the way, scalar and vector fields aren't necessarily moving.
A vector is a direction.
A vector is a direction. It doesn't imply motion, though. So what kind of field is the field that you're talking about?
The unified field.
What kind of field is it? How many degrees of freedom does it have?
What we're discussing is manifested and unmanifested symmetry.
How many degrees of freedom does this unified field have?
In order for something to be created,
can you answer the question?
Yeah.
How many degrees of freedom does the unified field have?
It doesn't have any. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, then if it doesn't have any degrees of freedom, then it's not a field.
No, it's just not manifested yet.
A field is something with a number of degrees of freedom.
Exactly. In order for something to be created, like a time, it needs to be created. It needs a time.
You're not describing a field. This is what I mean by using words only if you know what they mean.
Yeah, I don't think you understand what. Because for something to be created, it needs.
We're not talking about something being created. You're talking about some field that is somehow the reason why the Earth is flat. Like you got to do better than this. You have to like use the words as they mean. You can't just use them in like some made up way.
So, what made up way is a field? What are you referring to when you say field?
A field is a function that assigns to every point in space-time some number of degrees of freedom.
So movement, right?
No, not movement. It has nothing to do with movement.
So it's symmetry. That's what you're saying.
It has nothing to do with symmetry either.
So it doesn't have movement and it doesn't have symmetry. So
no, I mean it can have symmetry, like it can be a symmetric field, but it doesn't have to be.
So let's make that make sense.
Like it's just not clear that you know what the word means.
I think you're misusing or you're complicating. Like, do you think
field
that
is a very specific thing? When we use the language, when we use the word field in physics, it means something very, very specific. If you mean something else, right, I would suggest you don't use that word because it'll be awfully confusing.
I think you don't know what a field is.
I defined for you what a field is, how it's used in physics.
but you haven't shown how it relates to symmetry or asymmetry, so it can't be a real
Fields are
claim.
not inherently related to symmetry or asymmetry. It's just they're not intrinsically related to each other.
A field is the dielectric. It's the 0 point.
The dielectric?
It has no direction.
The
Yes,
dielectric
it
is an
has.
adjective.
It's not. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's stillness.
You can have
That's
a
what.
dielectric capacitor, for example.
So,
I guess it could also be a noun.
so
You could
what
have
is
a dielectric.
what is empty space to you? Because everything is just symmetry and asymmetry. That's how we're. That's how we.
That's like a huge claim. Look, do you have like evidence that the Earth is flat?
Yes, I just told you. There's.
Okay, what is the actual like empirical evidence that the Earth is flat?
The magnetic field lines on a permamagnet.
The magnetic field lines on a permanent magnet. Okay, how does that mean that the Earth is
How
flat?
it's self-looping around each other.
Yep.
how
How
it's
does that mean
looping
that the
around
Earth
each
is
other.
flat?
Because the part where we exist is where the energies come together and create the flat domain. It's
So
it's very simple.
look,
It's
I
like
asked
it's
for
water and
empirical
steam.
evidence that the Earth is flat, and then you said permanent magnets. And I asked how permanent magnets say anything about the shape of the Earth. And then you started talking about the energy field of the permanent magnet shows that the shape of blah, blah. Like, it's unrelated. So I want you to tell me how you know the Earth is flat. I don't care about permanent magnets. You have to tell me something, some fact, some observable fact about the Earth that can only be true, for example, on a flat Earth.
Correct.
That's what empirical evidence would be.
Right.
So can you give me an example of that?
We're living on a flat Earth.
That's the claim.
ground
Can you
is
give me
flat.
the empirical evidence?
Because we're not walking on the sky. The energetic field around the planet, it's circular, correct?
Because we're
But
not
the part that
walking
we
on the
live on is
sky.
flat.
Look, do you understand what the claim of the globe Earth is?
We're on a spherical.
Do you understand that
Energy.
the opposition to your worldview is that the Earth is shaped like a basketball and we're walking around on the surface of the basketball?
No. No,
That is the
In the beginning, I've
mainstream
been saying-
that is the mainstream scientific view. You understand that?
No. From the beginning, I've been saying we're operating on a torus field structure.
I understand
We can
that's your
call it-
view. Do you understand that the mainstream scientific view is that the Earth is shaped like a basketball and we're walking around on its
Do you
surface?
understand that there's a personal truth, a social truth, and then the optical
I'm asking,
truth?
do you understand what the
actual
mainstream
truth is?
scientific view is? Do you understand what it's trying to say?
And that's the social truth, right? There's three truths, correct?
Do you understand? Look, can you answer the question, yes or no? Do you understand that the mainstream scientific view is that the Earth is shaped like a basketball and we're walking around on its surface?
That's the Western perspective, correct?
Okay, so are you telling me that you don't understand that that's the mainstream scientific view?
What you're saying is a Western
I'm
ideology
asking
of how
if
the
you.
world is
I
operating.
know that you don't agree with the mainstream scientific view. I'm asking if you understand what the mainstream scientific view is.
No.
Okay, so you just don't even know what the mainstream scientific view is. Do you
No,
want me
what
to
I'm
explain
saying
it?
I'm saying is, which area of scientific research are you talking about? Because you could talk about
Physics,
Western
geology, climatology,
from what
astronomy.
area of the planet? Because Eastern astrology, Eastern geographic.
In the East, they also think the Earth is a sphere. At least the scientists do.
Exactly. They think the energetic motion of how the Earth
No. They think
moves
that the
a
Earth is
sphere.
shaped like a basketball and people are walking around
There's
on its
no
surface.
scientific evidence. There's no evidence you can bring up that can prove that anywhere on the planet Earth they think that we do not live on a flat plane. The part that we exist on is flat, but the energetic motion as how the
There's
Earth
no evidence I
operates,
can bring up that would prove that that's the case. That would prove that people
it can
think
because
that.
Rayleigh scattering is exactly one
Wait,
thing
hold
that
on,
can
hold on.
prove that.
What was the claim you just made? Did you just say that I can't prove that other people in other places think that the Earth is also round, like spherical?
No, other cultures and regions around the world don't think that the Earth is.
Yeah, so if I just like brought up a Chinese person who has written about the shape of the Earth, would that be evidence?
No, I mean what you're saying is there's three different kinds of truths. There's a personal truth, there's a social truth, and then there's an optical truth. We can understand that the Earth is.
I don't know what all of these different kinds of truth are. Look, there is a mainstream scientific view that
From
the
where,
Earth
though?
is
From
a
what
sphere.
region? From the U.S. From the Western
Science is not like a region locked. Science is not a
another
region
way
locked
that we
feature,
can
my
look-
guy. Science is a thing that people do everywhere on the Earth.
No, science is what was created by Western societies.
So the scientific method in its current form was founded, yes, mostly by the West, although arguably there were hints of it in West Asia, which is now known as the Middle East, during the Arab Golden Age. But science as developed by Europeans 500 years ago is universal. It's global. People do it everywhere. This is not like some strictly Western thing. There are universities in China that also use the scientific method to investigate the natural world.
Yeah.
So this is not a restricted thing. This is not region locked.
Yeah.
This is a worldwide consensus.
Right, but what's real is only a reflection of your awareness. So what if the Western world is saying that the way that they view the world, the way that they see the world is the only way that it is, then that's the perspective that you're viewing and talking from.
Do you,
and
you
another way we can
recognize that
see that the
China
world
has
is,
astronauts, right?
what does that have to prove? That in order for a light to be shown, that it goes through a prism and creates visible light.
I'm sorry, do you think that addressed my question?
But that proves that the Earth is flat, the part that we live on, and exactly. It's just like the cones of your eyes. The cones of your eyes are spherical, but the part that you
Cherubim, are you good?
do you know what Rayleigh scattering is and how the Earth
I
is?
do. Do you?
Okay. Do you know what Rayleigh? You know how many? What is the original color?
Please
of the
address
sun?
the question.
What is the original color of the sun? Is it?
Please address
is it
the
purple,
question.
Yellow, red, green.
Can you please
white?
address the question that I asked you without deflecting?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. And then I want you to answer my question.
So, what do you make of the fact that China has astronauts?
I think that's a cool thing.
And so, do you think that astronauts can exist if the Earth is flat?
Oh my God. There is no evidence, no hard proof evidence that anyone has ever left the domain that is the Earth.
What kind of evidence? What kind of evidence would be sufficient for you?
It's not sufficient to me. It's what
Well,
we're
there
talking
is
about.
evidence. So for that claim, there is absolutely evidence sufficient for me. But it seems like your standard of evidence for this is much higher. So I'm asking, what kind of evidence is sufficient for you?
No, I'm talking about the three kinds of truths. There's a personal truth, there is the we all agree social truth, and then there is the optical truth of understanding how energy flows in the planet. If we're on a
Why do you
domain,
keep bringing that up? I'm just asking, what is the standard of evidence that you require to be convinced that people have left the atmosphere?
Because energy can't be created, only transferred in an isolated domain. If we're in an isolated domain, you cannot leave the domain. That's what I'm saying. And if your people are saying
claim, but what kind of evidence would you need to see?
Energy.
It's
that's
not.
the that's the law of conservation of energy.
What kind of evidence would you need to see in order to be convinced that people have left the atmosphere?
That's what I'm saying. There's
no amount of evidence that could convince you.
The atmosphere.
So there's no amount of evidence that could convince
you.
I
didn't say people didn't leave the atmosphere.
Sure, you did.
No, people left the atmosphere, the ground.
Where'd they go?
There's three law. The definition of law is land, air, and water. Those are the three jurisdictions. So people can go in the air, yes, sure, definitely, but they cannot leave the domain that we're in.
Where did they go if they left the atmosphere?
That's like basic understanding. They went into the atmosphere and came back down. There is no evidence, solid evidence.
If they left the atmosphere, then they couldn't still be in the atmosphere.
No, they left the jurisdiction of the ground and went into the atmosphere.
No, I mean, like, you can leave the jurisdiction of the ground simply by jumping. I'm talking about people who left the atmosphere.
Yeah, there's different layers of atmosphere. There's the ionosphere. There's different layers. So you can.
There
What I'm saying
absolutely
is they
are
can
different layers. I'm talking about leaving all of them.
But there's a contradiction to the law of conservation of energy.
What does the law
Energy
of
cannot be
conservation of
created nor
energy say?
destroyed.
Where in the law of conservation of energy does it say anything about domain?
A quick Google search will show you.
Okay, a quick Google search you
A
say.
quick
So if
Google
I
search.
Google law of conservation of energy, you're telling me that it'll say something about domain?
Yes.
Okay, let's pull it up. Bet you didn't think that this would happen.
Right. Go ahead. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on now, bro.
Sorry, one sec. Come on, let me... Here we go. I just Googled law of conservation of energy, right? The law of... and we can just use the AI overview. If you want, we can go pull up the Wikipedia page, but... The law of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only converted from one form to another. This means the total energy in an isolated system remains constant, though it can change from potential to kinetic energy or chemical to thermal energy, among other forms. An example is a falling object. As it loses gravitational potential energy, it gains kinetic energy, and any energy lost to friction is converted to thermal energy. Now, where in that summary does it say anything about domains?
That's what a system is.
No. And by the way, the point of the law of conservation of energy is that in an isolated system, the energy remains the same. But if the system's not isolated, then the energy can change. That's the whole point.
My guy. Everything that we built the earth on, buildings, cars, houses, was built with the stuff on the planet Earth.
Okay.
We're just
that's
changing
neat.
the structure of the energy. Nothing is changing. The system
that's
is
neat. Except that's neat. Except it's demonstrably not true. There are ancient examples of daggers and swords being made from meteoric iron. This is iron that comes from shooting stars.
Yeah. But that's that, and if that's true, then that's a valid.
It is true.
The claim is made.
Well, do you want some evidence?
Made, but it invalidates the law of conservation of energy, though.
No, it doesn't. It just means that our Earth is not an isolated system.
So it's an open-end system. That's what
it's an open system. Yes, of course it is.
Like it's
Here,
crazy, bro.
This is actually really neat. So Tutankhamun, ancient Egyptian pharaoh, had a meteoric iron dagger. The blade composition and homogeneity closely correlate with meteorite iron composition and homogeneity. The material for the blade is determined to have originated by way of a meteoritic landing. This dagger on the right, was made from space iron.
That's very cool.
And it disproves your claim.
No, that's a source that was that's a claim that's made. That is
Do you
not
want
a
the evidence
factual
that
evidential.
Oh, I'm sorry. What standard of evidence would you require to believe it?
And this is what we're arguing right now. We're not arguing what's real. We're arguing whose point of view.
Can you answer the question, please? What standard of evidence would you require to believe it?
The optical, the third one.
I have no idea what that means. I'm asking what standard of evidence? What would you need to see? What facts of the matter would you need to have demonstrated in front of you in order for you to believe that that iron in that dagger was coming or came from a meteor?
I would need to see a HD 4K video of a man landing on the moon showing that we left the...
What does that have to do with the dagger?
Because that shows that we we can travel and things can travel outside the domain.
What does that have to do with the dagger?
Because it can show that things can enter and exit the domain. That is the world.
Okay, so we can see other things entering our Earth. For example, when we see meteors hit the Earth, which we see all the time.
So you can pull up a video footage of a meteor hitting the Earth.
Yeah.
A 4K. Up to date.
I don't know what you mean by up to date, but absolutely there are videos of meteors hitting the Earth.
We can see the sun up close.
I don't know what the sun has to do with anything.
Up close. We can see everything. Everything is 100 billion miles away, but yet
I don't know what the sun has to do with anything. I don't know what the moon has to do with anything. We're talking about a meteor, are we not?
Because scientists in the western hemisphere of the planet have no idea what they're talking about. They think that a wave is a thing and not what a thing
Here's
does.
a video, by the way, of a meteor hitting the Earth. This is a video of a meteor strike. This was filmed in 2016. I don't know if it's 4K. It's 1080p. Here you go.
I'm not seeing anything. Like, are you?
Oh, what do you think that thing in the sky is?
No, that's your interpretation of what you've seen.
What
but
do you think that
seen.
thing in the sky is?
Once again, you have not shown me nothing. You've just shown me your interpretation.
Just showed you a video. What do you think the thing in the
sky is? Your
sky
interpretation of what you thought it was. You didn't show me anything, literally.
Here, do you want me to show you another?
That's why you asked me, what do I think? Because that's your interpretation of what you think it was.
Do you want me to show you another?
You're showing me the interpretation. What I'm saying to you is, do you think that a proton is a thing?
Do you want me to show you another? Here, I'll show you
another.
You
think a proton is a thing?
I'm sorry, don't deflect. We're showing you another. Pay attention on the right here. This was in Guardian News. This is 10 months ago. This is from Canada. So
you're showing me. You're going to show me.
So there's the little meteor. You
Neil
can see it there.
Armstrong walking on the moon too. Next,
and then they're going to play it in slow-mo. There it is, and it just hits. It just hits the little. I actually don't know what that is. Is that like a little water puddle or something like that it hits, or is it just like? No, I think it's just like the tile. It just breaks the tile. What do you think that is?
Wow. Once again, you asked me the question, what do I think that is?
Yeah.
Given my perspective.
Yeah, so this
things
is the evidence.
Like NASA doesn't have, like you're giving me perspectives of what you thought. You have not shown me.
You asked for evidence that something. I'm sorry. What do you think that we just looked at?
Exactly. That's why you keep asking me that question, because what do I think? You're asking me from the perspective of what I saw.
What would you expect it to look like if we saw a meteor hit the ground?
A meteor, a gigantic rock hitting the ground.
Why do meteors have to be big?
Oh my God!
Why would it have to be big?
From the speed, from the speed of something falling from what people are considering hundreds of thousands of miles away to enter our atmosphere, to land and to drop a little dent on the floor and break a little vase. Is that what you're saying right now? Like, are we being for real?
If it's small and it slows down because it passes through the air, yeah.
Oh my God!
Why does it have to be big?
Systems seek lower pressure mediations. So
I don't think you know what any of that means.
What are you talking about?
I don't think that sentence made sense in any order of the words.
Okay, so what you're saying is that systems don't seek lower pressure symmetry.
Sound it out.
What you're saying. No, I'm trying to get you to understand that reality is pressure systems of equilibrium and imbalances. That's how simple
reality
the world
is. Reality is pressure systems of imbalances. What?
It's symmetry and non-symmetry, asymmetry and not. That's what it is.
I really hope so. So you promised that you weren't lying to me when you said that you're going to school for electrical engineering, right?
Yeah, hot things cool down, gases speed up, things fall.
Hot things cool down, gases speed up. Why do gases speed up?
Let me ask you a question. What do you think lightning is?
Lightning is a superheated ion channel formed between a cloud and either another cloud or the ground. You weren't expecting an answer, were you?
No, that was a definition. What is an explanation? What is that?
You didn't ask for an explanation. You asked for what it is. So I told you what it is.
No, you gave me a definition of what it is. You didn't give me an explanation.
Yeah, you asked me what it is, so I told you what it is.
Okay, let me clarify now. Make it simple. Explain to me what electricity is.
Explain to me what which one? Those are two different things.
They're not the different things, and that's what I'm trying to get at here.
Lightning is a flow of electricity. It's a specific kind of flow electricity between a cloud and the ground, or between two clouds.
And this is why
electricity is a much broader thing.
Nikola Tesla didn't say that. He said it was very.
I don't care what Nikola Tesla said. By the way, Nikola Tesla was a Westerner. You know that, right?
Yes, but who did Western society propagate on as their leader towards the technological advanced world. Who are
You want
they
to rephrase
showcasing?
that? You want to try that again?
Who is the Western world propping up as the person being or idea that has built the Western world?
I don't think that there's a single one.
Nikola Tesla said, "A wave is not a thing; it's what a thing is doing. I can wave at
I
you.
don't care what Nikola Tesla
Everything
said.
is
He
frequency.
wasn't a genius.
Everything is frequency.
Oh, that's not true.
Lightning, electricity.
Can you define what frequency is for me, please?
The amount of times something is moving. Simple.
No, that's
very
not
simple.
what that's not what frequency is.
The amount of time something is moving.
Frequency isn't an amount of time.
This amount of time something is moving.
That's not what frequency is. Frequency is not
literally
an
what-
amount of time. Frequency is a number of cycles per unit time. You got the units wrong.
Electricity is just something.
I'm sure it is.
Electricity and lighting is something seeking symmetry. Simple. That's what fractal geometry is. That's what everything that people try to
Cherubim,
make.
do you promise that you were not lying to me when you said you were going to go to school for electrical engineering?
Do you
promise?
What is a proton? What is a proton?
Do you promise?
What is it? What is a proton? Can you explain to me what a proton is?
Do you promise that you weren't lying to me?
Listen, with 100% certainty, not only was I not lying, it's almost as if I don't want to continue my studying, going to school for college, because when I listen to a professor speak, it's almost as if they have no idea what they're saying. They're just repeating what other people have said, and they don't have a true understanding of how energy flows, of how the world operates, of how the difference between symmetry and asymmetry, of how systems and domains operate, on what a closed system is and what an open system is, and how everything is just symmetry and asymmetry. Energy is seeking balance. That's all lightning is. That's all electricity is. That's all photons are. There is no double slit experiment. It's just a false understanding of what a wave is.
Okay, yeah.
What
So just to be clear, so you said that you are not lying, that you said you were going to school for electrical engineering, but then you said you don't want to go to school because you think that the people who would be teaching you actually know less than you do.
You misheard what I said. I said I'm going to school, but when I hear the professor speak, it makes me feel like I want to drop out because I don't. When I hear these people talk, they have no idea what they're saying. They're just repeating what they've heard.
So what are the odds? Look, Cherubim, I want you to step back for a minute. What are the odds that you actually don't know what you're talking about and all of the professors do, compared with the odds that you know better than all of these professors who have studied it for their entire lives? Which one is more likely in your view?
£30 of feathers and 30 pounds of titanium are different.
Address the question, please.
Just because you have a degree in something does not mean you have anything how to do what you're... I am right now. I currently am. Just because you have a degree in something, that doesn't mean you can understand what you're doing. You know how many people that have...
Can you address the question, please? I asked you, what are the odds? Can you answer the question? What are the odds?
I don't have a calculator that can calculate the odds.
Can you estimate it? Which one do you think is more likely?
And this is what I'm saying here. Intelligence is the ability to get, hold, translate, and transfer information effectively.
Which one do you think is more likely? That you know more than all of the professors and all of the scientists, or that maybe you just don't know as much as you think you do, and they're trying to teach you true things?
If you can't,
can you answer the question? Which one's more likely? Which one's more likely?
If you can't simplify what the creation
of
all reality,
going to refuse to answer? Are we just dodging again?
No, it's not a refusal of answering.
Which one is more likely?
It's a railroaded response.
Which one is more likely?
Ask the question again.
Which is more likely between these two options? Option 1. You know more than all of the professors about their particular field of study, and they are telling you incorrect things. Or option 2, they actually know what they're talking about, and you are ignorant about their subject, and so you think that they're wrong, even though they're not actually wrong. Which is more likely, option 1 or option 2?
your question isn't a simply yes or no or right or wrong answer.
You're
because
right.
we
It's
have
the answer is either option 1 is more likely, option 2 is more likely, or they are equally likely.
It's not as simple as that, because we have to factor in the
is. That's
fact
the structure
this is
of the
Western
question.
Society. This is the Western society, and they have operated in a framework where it's if what's real is only a reflection of your awareness. So if they want to showcase you a particular way of viewing reality, then they're going to show you that particular way of viewing reality, while as the Eastern world sees the world in a completely different way. So your arguing is
So
that
if I went to a
these people
university
right
in
and I'm
China,
wrong.
do you think that they would teach you the same thing in an electrical engineering class or different things?
Listen, I'm gonna put it to you like this. When I
Can
visited
you answer any questions directly? Why is it when I ask you like a very straightforward question, you're like, listen, let me put it to you like this, and then you proceed to not answer the question at all?
But I'm being interrupted though. Like, I'm answering your question.
I just asked you a question. I just want a simple answer. You can then explain the answer after you answer the question, but you should start by answering the question.
Exactly. You
Don't
want
say
the
exactly
answer.
if you don't agree.
Yes or no.
Answer the question.
It's not a yes or no response though. Like you're.
It is. This one was, do you think that the people or that the universities in China in electrical engineering courses teach the same material as they do in the United States? Roughly the same material, of course. It's not going to be identical. That's a yes or no question. You can alternatively say that, well, maybe the question is ill-posed. Or you could say, I don't know. Those are your 4 answers.
Bruh. I think there's a disconnect, and the main purpose is what I'm getting at. There's the fundamental laws
Can
of
you answer the
reality.
question, please? You have 4 options.
It doesn't make any sense, bro.
So you
It
don't
doesn't make
understand
any
the question?
I
Want
don't
me to
understand why you're
simplify it for
asking
you?
that question.
Because you made a
Intelligence-
claim. You made a
Your
claim that
ability to simplify.
you made a
Yes.
claim that the Eastern tradition is different from the Western tradition. So I gave you an example, or
Yes.
I asked you a question about a Chinese university, about whether they teach the same thing, roughly, as what they teach in a Western university.
Is lagging on my end, so I can't hear you right now. I'm waiting for it to. It's still loading. Hold up. Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, there we go. Go ahead. Say it again.
The question is relevant because when I asked you whether or not you know more or less than the professors who are teaching you the material that you signed up to learn, you said that there's a distinction between Eastern traditions and Western traditions. So I brought up Chinese universities and asked whether or not you think Chinese universities are teaching roughly the same material or some completely different Eastern material.
From the hybridized Chinese universities, because it's a hybridized version with the Western societies, because China did not operate like that. Eastern world did not operate in universities. That's why I said ancient traditions in cultures like the Eastern hemisphere of the earth. China's universities is most definitely a hybrid version of Eastern traditions or Western traditions. So with that being said, of course they teach what the West.
Right, so everybody in the world is wrong except you. Sounds like
That's
what
not
you're
what I'm
telling
saying.
me.
I'm saying the versions that which the West propagated, the new updated version. That's why I said ancient. The new versions that they're teaching now is completely different. That's why that's why they have Taoism.
So the question is, how does electricity actually work? There's a correct answer, right? There's only one way that it actually works, and there are many ways that it doesn't actually work. It doesn't
there's
work
many ways
by
that you can
water
perceive that it
flowing
works.
between 2 places, because electricity isn't water, for example. So the thing that we should be teaching in universities is the way it actually works, right?
Electricity isn't a thing, though. That's what you're missing.
It's a
not
phenomenon.
of which something is seeking symmetry.
It's
Simple.
a phenomenon. It's not what electricity is. Look, do you think that everybody in the world, Eastern, Western, Northern, Southern, everybody in the world, all of the the academics who have studied this for their entire life, do you think that they're more likely to be wrong, or do you think that you're more likely to be wrong?
I think when a man like Walter Russell, when a man like
I don't care.
Steinmetz,
Can you answer the question?
when a man like Tesla says,
Answer the
I'm
question.
repeating what they're saying. So yes,
I don't care. Answer the question.
If Steinmetz, the person who validated Tesla's
Funny
work
that
to
you're
get the
appealing to
AC,
Western engineers, Western architects, Western artists.
Western, who went against the grain and went to Egypt to study for their information and said they
Egypt
studied
is considered part of the West, right?
Oh my God, where is Egypt at?
It's in North Africa.
And what methods of terminology do they use? Do they use things like electricity is flowing from wires, and this is how we?
They absolutely do. Go to a university in Egypt; they'll do the same thing. By the way, for what it's worth, when I say that Egypt is part of the West, we talk about ancient civilizations. Generally, ancient Egyptian civilizations are considered Western civilizations, whereas generally we would say the Indus River Valley and the ancient Chinese civilizations, these would be ancient Egyptian or ancient Eastern civilizations. That's the distinction here, by the way.
Their civilization, meaning how they operate in
by the way, that wasn't for you. That was for the chat because they may have been confused about the statement. So look, the whole point is that it seems like you have like, look, do you know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is?
To be very clear, I'm repeating what Steinmetz, Nikola Tesla's teacher.
Yeah, okay, and they're both wrong.
Okay, cool. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. If Nikola Tesla's wrong, Steinmetz's teacher's wrong.
Yeah,
then I'm
Nikola
wrong
Tesla
too.
thought that nuclear energy would never be a thing, and
yeah,
it
but
was
you're
a thing.
using
Nuclear energy is a
Tesla
real thing.
coils in your phone. You're using Tesla coils in your Wi-Fi. You're using Tesla.
There are Tesla coils in
You're
a phone
smarter
or a
than
Wi-Fi.
Tesla. You have more inventions than Tesla. Like, okay.
Can you name three inventions that Tesla is credited with
Freezing
inventing?
again. Freezing.
Can you name three inventions that Tesla is credited with inventing?
I don't need to name three. I can just name one. The Tesla coil.
The Tesla coil isn't a big deal, though. The Tesla coil isn't important. Tesla coils aren't in phones. They're not in Wi-Fi. Tesla coils aren't particularly common. They're more of a toy than they are a useful invention.
So you don't have a Tesla coil. You don't need one in your car.
No, Tesla coils are not in cars.
You don't need one in your Wi-Fi.
No, Tesla coils are not in Wi-Fi either.
Okay. Wi-Fi box. You don't need one in the Wi-Fi box. You don't need one
Tesla coils aren't in those. Tesla coils are very specific things. They're not present in cars. They're not present in Wi-Fi boxes. They're not present in phones. They're not present really anywhere for industrial purposes.
What I'm hearing is it's crazy to think that not crazy. I understand why people like a Steinmetz, a Tesla, Walter Russell, who understands that the universe does not operate in straight lines. It operates and moves.
Are those three people like the sole creators of your worldview, and any empirical evidence that contradicts those worldviews you just dismiss as silly?
No, it's not that. It's that you have not yet explained to me what a photon is.
You have, by the way, to be clear, that was the first time you asked that. You have never brought up photons prior in this conversation. But regardless, it seems like you're appealing to Tesla and Steinmetz and Russell. Like these are not important people in the history of scientific investigations. I'm sorry your heroes just aren't that important, but they're not. They didn't make groundbreaking discoveries. Perhaps the only exception would be Tesla, who is credited with innovating on and making practical an AC induction motor. But even then, that was in the air. He wasn't some unique genius inventor that's responsible for that, and if he never existed, we would have never had it. There were other people who were working on that exact same project. He was just the first to get there.
Exactly.
Don't say exactly when I'm destroying your worldview. It makes you look bad and like you're not paying attention.
What you're saying is that, what is his particular name? You've made no claims, though. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I've made so many claims. I just don't think you've been listening.
You've made claims about how, like what? What have you said?
Okay, so have you not been listening at all? For example, I literally said what lightning was like 10 minutes ago.
Nothing.
I literally
You have not
said that
explained-
Tutankhamun had a meteoric iron dagger like 20 minutes ago. I literally said that there is only one important invention attributed to Tesla like 2 minutes ago. But it doesn't seem like you're actually listening. It seems like you're interested in just spewing random bullshit that you probably learned from like Austin Whitsitt or something like that, that has nothing to do with the actual world around us and is instead reliant on some pseudoscientific bullcrap invented by Walter Russell and promulgated by nobodies who read Nikola Tesla's work and then thought he was a miracle worker. I'm sorry, it's just not based in anything that has to do with the world around us.
Yo. Yo.
I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. You was finished or you was saying something?
I'm done. I think you are too, Cherubim.
Yeah, I think there wasn't really solid evidence for anything that you haven't combated. Any solid evidence as the Earth is not flat. The part that
Wait,
we
why
operate
can't
on.
I? Hold on. Why can't I? Something is broken.
On God, my Wi-Fi was actually messing up. So if you playing like yours is,
No. Something's broken with my live stream. It says please log in. I don't know why. Y'all, I have to. I think I'm gonna I want to kick him, which because the conversation's over.
I could leave.
Yeah, you could leave, but for some reason my multi-guest isn't working. So why not just leave? That'd be a good idea.
For sure. Appreciate y'all in the comments. Appreciate the whoop, the likes. The energy around it is toroidal.
I don't know what's happening. Can you guys hear me on TikTok? Can you guys hear me all right? Okay, I don't know why it's telling me to log in. Yeah, I think that I'm gonna have to restart the live on TikTok. I don't know why, but currently it's saying like, oh, make sure to log in, bloobity 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 blah. And it's just a little bit confusing. It's saying something went wrong. So I'm gonna restart the live on TikTok. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. If you want to follow along, make sure to click on that little icon that's somewhere over here or something like this, somewhere up here, and then just refresh. I will be back in 10 seconds, okay? All right, I will be back. YouTube, you guys are fine. I just have to restart TikTok really quick for whatever reason. I don't know why it's breaking. It'll be fine though. Oh, yeah, now it's telling me to log in, so I have to log in on my phone. One moment, sorry y'all. Your QR code? Yeah, I don't know, this is very strange. Usually it doesn't ask me to log in while I'm, usually it just automatically logs me in. And so that's why I couldn't kick him. I should have asked him, I absolutely should have asked him, what weighs more, 30 pounds of feathers or 30 pounds of, whatever, or 30 pounds of steel. Okay, we are back on TikTok. Sorry, I just had to refresh it and re-log in. We should be good to go though. We are logged in, I can now see everybody. All right, let's bring up left ejected.
You just lied to get me to come with you. That's what you did.
No, I didn't.
Don't lie to me.
What is that? It says men's room.
Left ejected, can you hear me?
I asked you if there were bathrooms. You said, yes, definitely. As if you knew. But you didn't know.
I didn't know where they were. It's a medical building. Of course there's restrooms because people have to give samples.
Well, give a sample then.
Hey, left, can you hear me?
Everything's changed so much around here. They have to put everything on a changeable display.
All right, this is inappropriate. I'm not gonna sit in on somebody's conversation. Very weird though that I clicked join. But okay. Starkey, how's it going? Starkey, can you hear me? Starkey. All right, looks like Starkey's not joining. How about Damn Logic? Damn Logic, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm getting over a cold. What shape do you think the Earth is?
Um,
I can't hear you when you're off the app, by the way. Damn Logic. Welcome back. What shape do you think the Earth is?
can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I know you're just supposed to be opposers, but I'm just going to say I don't know. Is that okay to be in this argument, or?
I suppose it is a little bit of a strange thing, though, right? Because like to say I don't know means that you're rejecting all of the scientific evidence that's presented by everyone. And so that's a little bit puzzling to begin with. Like, why reject that evidence?
I can explain that. I mean, and
Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
it's maybe a little idiotic on my side. I'm educated. I do have an electrical engineering degree from A&M from '97. But the reason I say I don't know is because I've never done any experiments myself, right? And what I challenge you, and I mean, I'm sure you'll come up with a few, that individuals, including myself, can a couple experiments that we can do independently and be able to do to give ourselves confidence that that's actually true. And I think that that could go a long way with anybody that's actually using their head. So I can hang up and listen.
Well,
Or I
look,
can continue the dialogue.
so here's what I would suggest. I mean, like, this standard of evidence that you've checked it yourself, do you apply that standard of evidence in all situations, all cases?
I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not saying that I'm saying I've never done any experiment that would give myself 100% confidence of the actual shape.
You said that you have an electrical engineering degree, right?
I do.
Can you name me one experiment that gives 100% confidence about anything?
No. I mean, I think that a point there is that the answer to that is no. We do experiments to give ourselves. They can always have the same outcome, and so then we develop equations or whatever knowledge based on what those outcomes are. But it's never 100%, right?
Right. It's
So-
like, it's just really, really likely. Maybe
That's right.
99.9%,
Right.
whatever.
Exactly.
And so that's strong enough, unless you're willing to say you just don't know anything, which maybe you are. Maybe that's what you're willing to say.
Maybe I am. Maybe I am, but that doesn't mean I live my life that way, right?
Right.
But
So the
yes.
point is like, practically speaking, when we have a high enough degree of certainty of something, given some set of experiments or whatever it might be, we generally say that it's reasonable to know that such and such a thing is true. Right? It's reasonable to say that, well, it's reasonable to say that we know that the sun will rise tomorrow, right?
Right.
Even though that's not 100% certain, it's just really, really close to certain.
That's right.
Like a black hole could be coming up behind the sun and it could swallow it before tomorrow. And we would
Sure.
never know, but we have good reason to think that it is the case. So do you have a lower degree of certainty that the Earth is flat than you do that the sun will rise tomorrow? Sorry, that the Earth is a
No.
sphere.
That's hard. Yeah. No. I'd say that those are equal high certainty.
Okay, then it just sounds like you do think that the Earth is a sphere.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, but I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like, hey, I mean, are we just under just some huge illusion, right?
Yeah, it could be, but that's just not how we talk about knowledge when we do science,
true.
right?
It's true. So I'll break off then, because I guess I don't belong in this conversation, but I do want to say, I've watched a lot of your TikToks. I love it when you challenge others, and I think that you just I can learn from you, right? And I think a lot of people can learn and connect from you. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Demogic. Have a good one.
Yep. Bye.
That was kind. All right, we have some super chats to read. We're a bit behind. So let's read them really quick, and then we'll bring up another guest. So from Goulian, with the $5, saying, "Good morning, Dr. Blitz. With how long you've been debating, what is the argument for why God cannot be created and the universe can't?" I don't understand the question. I generally don't see a reason for why the universe has to have been created if God didn't have to be created. I don't see how those two things are incompatible. Casey Leia, thank you for the $10. Glad to see you streaming today. Here's a hydration reminder. You should have some tea and a dose of Dayquil. I already had Dayquil today. My next dose is in 2 hours. But thank you for the hydration reminder. The worst part about being sick is that water just starts tasting bad. Constantine sends $2. You're alive? We already had the funeral service. Yeah, I'm alive. Constantine with the $2. Thank you again. Guest is an electrician apprentice, no undergrad. Yeah, that's my understanding too. Gretchen, thank you so much for the $3. Like debating Mad Libs. My heart breaks for you, Blitz. Yeah, that was a rough conversation. That's what it felt like. I felt like I was going crazy. Binary Ghosts, thank you so much for the $20. Let's get a W binary in the chat there. The lines looping back into the magnet that is used to visualize magnetic fields is not really how a magnetic field looks. That visualization is based on interactions with iron filings, and interaction creates that view. Yeah, so these are called integral curves. So if you trace out the magnetic field lines along their integral curves, or rather if you generate integral curves using the magnetic field lines as your vectors, then you absolutely do get those. But that's not what a magnetic field looks like. Magnetic fields don't really look like anything. They're like, in some sense, a representation of what forces would do. Ensifrium, thank you for the $2. The intersection of ignorance and instability. Yeah, who knows? I don't think that he was unstable. I think that he was just way overconfident. DeFreak, thank you for the $2. Panama Canal debunks flat Earth. I could see a few ways in which this is the case, but I'd have to think about it some more. Charles McClure, thank you so much for the $5, Charles. Ever seen those shorts where they got the paint bucket on a string swinging, how it drifts into that neat spiral? That's the rotation of the Earth. Yeah, sorta. Zoidberg with the $10. Thank you, W. Zoidberg. Dr. Blitz wanted to share that flat Earth and creationism are extremely fringe in the East and not just the scientific view. Globe is described in ancient Chinese Indian texts with diameter measurements. Yeah, that's exactly it. This the flat Earth stuff, the flat Earth and creationism are like almost exclusively Western things, which is crazy. Aleko, thank you for the 3 Australian buckaroos. They say, aha. That was gold. What do you think lightning is? Yeah, that was rough. Herman Preet with the $5. Guy, I want to be an electrical engineer. Same guy explained to me what electricity is. Look, if he hasn't started learning yet, then he hasn't started learning yet. And that's okay. Peter, Blitz, the pre-grad knows his shit, okay? His word vomit and mashing together of things he's heard hurts to listen to. A little bit. I was feeling kind of disoriented, to be honest. We have a few more to go through, and then we'll bring up another guest. Don't you guys worry, your cute little heads. Bino with the 2 Canuck bucks, obvious con man. No, I'm not. Maybe the other guy is. Sivas with the $2, because bread tastes better than a key. I have no idea what that means. Stephen Riley with the $5, why moon circle if Earth flat? Well, look, some of them think that the Earth is also a circle, just not spherical. Tim Davidson with the $2, he's having an ID10T identity error? Oh. Boogie the Cat, clip this convo, Blitz, this is gold. Oh, I will be. Don't you worry. Tim Davidson, he thinks any coiled wire is a Tesla coil. Yeah, that's called an inductor or a transformer, not a Tesla coil. A Tesla coil is a type of transformer. Binary Ghosts sends $5. Could he be mistaken Tesla coils with toroidal coils? Maybe, but they're not the same thing, of course. Aleko sends $8 Australian. You can beat 40 scholars with 1 fact, but you can't beat 1 idiot with 40 facts. I wish the caller can see this. Most people don't think that they're idiots, and that's fine. I think that most people aren't idiots. I think that most people just don't know the things that they want to know. Goulian sends $10 to clarify. Sorry, what's the argument that theists make for why God cannot have been created, can always have existed, but the universe, if that existed forever without one, is somehow crazy? Oh, they don't usually give one, right? Like, that's the problem. It's usually just special pleading. And then Ian 2, bulging for Blitz, allegedly addicted to Ian, gay for Justin. Sounds good, Ian 2. And Neck2 with the last super chat with $6.66. Glad you're feeling well enough to stream today. I was going through Blitz withdrawals yesterday. I figured I would have to do a stream today rather than doing Ask a Physicist because people have been waiting. All right, let's bring up our next guest. Let's bring up Mr. Pringle. Thank you guys so much for the super chats, by the way. Mr. Pringle, how's it going?
How's it going, man?
I'm doing okay. Mr. Pringle, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Okay, so to be completely honest, the Earth is sphere, but I just want you to ask a question. Humor me for a second, right?
Well, Mr. Pringle, it does say join the live opposition only if you think it's flat.
No, I get that. I'm like super curious on your answer with this.
All right, make it quick.
All right, so when it comes to black hole cosmology, like, what do you think?
If it's not related, I'm not gonna answer that question today. Brave Boy Joy Publishing. How's it going, Brave Boy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing A-okay. Getting over a cold, though. Brave Boy, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I don't know what shape the Earth is, but I've only seen the Earth flat. That's all I've seen.
Okay, have you seen pictures from space?
All the pictures I have seen have been CGI, and they all look the same. It's almost laughable that you can take
I can help you with that. Would you be interested in a non-CGI photo?
I no, that's kind of
you
weird.
wouldn't be interested in seeing something that destroys your worldview. Is that what you're saying?
No. I mean, it doesn't. I'm more of a science guy. I don't really get into what
a science guy. Are you?
Yeah, I'm an engineer.
Oh, okay, so you're not a scientist, is what it sounds like you're saying.
No, I am. I'm a civil engineer. I am a scientist.
No, you're an engineer, not a scientist.
Well,
those are different things.
That's true, but we deal in nothing but science as a civil engineer.
No, you deal in application. Anyway, let me show you something. If you're a science guy, you should be open to new evidence, right? Let me show you something neat. So this photo, it's a photograph, not CGI. The reason we know it's not CGI is because it existed before CGI existed. This photo is from 1972. What do you make of it?
It's nice. It looks like what I've always believed the Earth to look like. That's what it looks like.
Okay, so you've now seen a photo, a non-CGI photo of the Earth being a sphere.
Yeah.
Are you now convinced that the Earth is a sphere?
Those terms that the Earth is a sphere, no. I mean, because I don't.
So what did we just see a picture of?
We saw a picture of what has been identified as the Earth, and what everybody with common sense would say, what is that? And they would say the Earth.
Okay, so you don't think that that's the Earth then?
No, what I'm saying is that's just a representation. It's the same
photograph.
Exactly. Right. The same way somebody puts makeup on and goes out to a play, they represent themselves as, they could be Benjamin Banneker, Abraham Lincoln, they could be anyone they want. Doesn't mean
but this is a photograph.
Yes, that's what it is.
So a photograph is supposed to a photograph.
Yeah.
Depicts the thing as it is, right?
Sure,
as visible by the camera.
Yeah, but we don't. With technology today, I'm not basing my science on a photograph, right? Because
I thought you said that you had never seen the Earth be a sphere, so I just showed you one.
With my eyes, with my own eyes. Meaning, when I
you're an electrical engineer, you don't rely on your eyes for studying radio waves, do you?
What I'm saying is, I'm a civil engineer. When I do whatever I do, I use real life facts and real life experiments. And what you provided to me, that's the same way, like if somebody says, hey, I want you to design this dam, and they give me a picture of where they want the dam is, I actually need to go to the spot where we want to do my own testing. I don't base what I want to do based upon a picture. So what I'm just saying is, yes, I agree with you. That is the picture of the Earth. I'm not denying what you may categorize that. I'm not going to be silly and be like, I don't know what the hell that is. It's a picture of the Earth. But would I use that to say, yes, I can undeniably, in a court of law, say this is a picture of the Earth? I can't do that. But I have questions for you though, also.
Well, look, so before we change topics, it just seems like we don't rely on just our eyesight to do science. I mean, you said that you're a
Sure.
civil engineer, right? Like
Yeah.
like you can't see a force. And yet you use, I imagine that when you were going to school for civil engineering, you learned Newtonian statics, right? You took a course probably called statics, where you figure out, how much tension is going to be on various wires if they're holding up various things, and you have pulleys and all sorts of things to try to figure out what is the equilibrium configuration. There's nothing that you can see there. You can't see a force, and yet you can still study it. You can still use that information.
Sure. So are you sticking
I don't
to the ground?
So I don't understand why your standard is I need to have seen the spherical Earth with my eyeballs in order to come to the conclusion that it's really spherical. When you can't see forces with your eyeballs, you can't see electricity with your eyeballs, unless it's like arcing, of course. You can't see a lot of things with your eyeballs. That's just not the standard that we use in science.
We can test them though. See, that's the
We
thing.
can test the shape of the Earth as well.
Okay, that's fine. But you didn't give me the test. You just said
Well,
here's a.
that's because the standard that you asked for was being able to see it with your eyes. So I showed you it with your eyes.
No, when you actually go up in the air in an airplane, all you see is flat plane. All you see is the clouds. All you see is the
I beg to differ.
when I've traveled all over the world, and I haven't traveled from one island to the next island. We don't go all the way up in the air. We go up a certain amount of feet.
You go
and
about
we're
7
traveling
miles.
Flat. We're flat.
It's not
all
flat
the way
though.
across.
And in fact, we can show that it's not flat by doing an analysis of what we see out of an airplane window.
This is what. Okay, so now this is where I'm getting to. So now when you say it's not flat, now we're going to get into what we call you have to do a survey. So
No,
when you
we don't need to do a survey. We can do an analysis.
Let me just explain my position. If I'm going to do a survey is going to give me the exact height and location of whatever I'm looking at. It's not going to give me false information. So if you're saying, okay, this survey says this is curved, there's no survey that's going to give you a curvature of anything.
Yeah, they will. Actually, this paper does exactly that.
Absolutely will not.
This paper does exactly
I deal
that.
with it all the time. There's no curve.
I'm sorry, Brave Boy. I'm sorry. In this case, you're empirically wrong. So this is a photograph taken from an airplane. This is probably what it looks like to you, right? Without the black line and the black dot and stuff. This is probably what it looks like when you're in an airplane at cruising altitude, right?
Something like that.
So
maybe.
what they did is they basically took a line, they drew it across, separating the boundary between the horizon and the ground, the sky from the horizon, and then they drew it across, all the way across, from left to right, and then they zoomed in and they put where the actual horizon is in the middle, and you can see that the horizon is slightly higher. That's what this zoomed in box is here. Okay. That zoomed in, the horizon is slightly higher in the middle than it is than what you would expect if the Earth was actually flat. And not only is it just like apparently slightly higher, as is shown in this picture, they actually use this data, the amount that it's higher, as well as the field of view of the camera, to predict the field of view of the camera and the height of the plane to predict precisely how large the Earth is. And what they find is that it's exactly the amount of curvature that they observe in this photo is exactly as much as you would expect from a spherical Earth.
That's why we would never use a camera.
Did you listen to what I said?
Absolutely.
Can you repeat back to me what I said?
You're saying that the camera and the camera lens and the is going to give me some sort of depiction of why the Earth is curved. And what I'm saying is, in real life, meaning when we actually use something in real life, we would never go to a picture. Like I told you,
you absolutely would. Wait, are you saying that you make your measurements, like when you're surveying for like a dam that you're trying to build? Are you saying that you make your measurements with your eyeballs, or do you actually take digital photographs and make? And a camera is a type of instrument, my guy.
No. We're talking survey instruments. We're not taking photographs, sir.
A camera is a type of surveying instrument.
Okay, what I'm saying is a camera is also it has a focal length which is skewed. It doesn't give you an exact.
Unfortunately, they accounted for that.
there is no accounting for.
Yeah, you can. So this is what happens if you have the horizon above the center. This is called barrel distortion. This is what happens when you have the horizon up. Please, I'm in the middle of a sentence. I'm in the middle of a sentence. So the distortion that you're referring to, the focal length, blah, 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 the distortion that you're referring to is captured here. If you have the horizon above the middle line, you will get this kind of distortion. It curves up. This is what happens when you compress it horizontally. Similarly, when you have the horizon along the middle line, you get minimal distortion. And when you have the horizon below the middle line, you get curvature down. However, So what this means is that if you put the horizon in the middle, then you are getting no distortion. That is an accurate rendition of what's actually happening. And so they put the horizon in the middle of the frame. And so there's no distortion here.
I've built so many things, and I've never, ever, for everyone on TikTok, ever took a picture of something and used it as a representation to say, hey, I'm gonna put my PE stamp on this because I took a picture. Absolutely not. We take actual.
Then you don't use cameras in order to run your analysis. That's fine.
Excuse me. Hold on. We use actual data, and so all I'm saying is,
I'm sorry. What's this? Is this actual data here on the right? Is this actual data on the right?
Can you give me a second?
You can use photos to generate actual data.
Okay, can you give me just 1 second?
Do you understand that?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm engaging
that's
with
what they
you.
did. That's what they did.
Okay, I'm engaging with you. What the first thing I want to say is that you're just because you have data, I have data, right?
What's your data?
I have a couple questions that I'd like to ask. That's the point I'm trying to get to.
What's your data? You said that you have data, I have data. What's your data?
I'm saying if I have actual survey information, meaning, I'll give you an example. Have you ever heard of maps? What is it? Oh my gosh, it's slipped my mind. Anyway, the actual geographical oh my gosh, it slipped my mind. Anyway, the actual survey data to build any, like for instance, any bridge that you build, you're going to have to build from one point to the next. And those 2 points in which you're building those, that they're actually touching the land, they're actually level. Now the bridge may go up.
Sorry, do you have evidence of that?
Hold on, let me just finish what I'm just saying. The bridge can arc up, meaning that it can go up into the air, but it will come back down and come on level ground. It's not even a matter of do I have any evidence. Just ask, do you build a bridge?
So you don't have evidence is what you're telling me.
Can you just let me just finish this last point? I'll let you say.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the point is, you can't build a bridge that's at elevation 0 and go up to elevation 10. You're not going to build a bridge up into the air. You're always going to build a bridge at elevation 0, and on the other side, it's also going to be elevation 0. Now, if you can show me, you do this. You show me a bridge where it goes up in elevation, not the height of the bridge, not the crest of the bridge. I'm talking about the two ends of the bridge. Show me where those two ends of the bridge are not the same.
I'm sorry. Do you think that if the
As
Earth is
an
curved,
engineer, I'm asking. I'm
answering your question, Brave Boy.
Show me
Brave
one
Boy,
bridge.
do you think that if the Earth is curved, that means that one end of a bridge would be at higher altitude than another end of the bridge?
What I'm saying to you
is that
there is.
Can you answer that question, please? I'm trying to clarify what you're asking for.
I don't know. What I'm saying is, I only know what is available to me, and I have not seen any curve. Okay, what I'm just saying is, if I haven't observed a curve, is that my fault?
Well, I just showed you some.
No, I mean,
I just showed you a picture.
In my profession. I'm talking about when I actually have to go out and actually build something. I've never ever used.
Give me an example
gravity.
of things that you've built.
Well, hold on. We haven't never used gravity. We've never used gravity one time. We don't use gravity.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You're saying you don't use gravity. So what is the? So you've taken a statics course, right?
I've taken all engineering courses. Yes, of course.
Okay, so you've taken a statics force.
Yes.
So when you
Yes.
have let's say that you have a bridge that is suspended or that is supported on two sides.
Yep.
Between like two vertical poles, say. So you have
Sure.
two vertical poles, you have a bridge suspending them. So what are the forces acting on the bridge?
What are the forces acting on the bridge?
Yeah.
I mean, there is going to be a down force. There's going to be a down force on the bridge, which is 32.2 feet per second, 9.8 meters squared per second.
That's not
Whatever
a force.
you make. Come again?
Those are accelerations, not forces.
Well, okay. Well, that's the only thing that's acting on that bridge. There is no.
I'm sorry,
there
you're
are no-
missing one. Are you sure that you are an engineer? Because there's
Absolutely.
there's
What-
two,
what are the forces
there's
you're talking
four
about?
forces, or there's three forces in this case. There's
Okay,
the
what
downward
forces
force
are
at the center of mass, right? This is the
that's
force
what
due to
I did.
gravity. Then
That's
there's
what I-
two upward forces at either of the support points. These are normal forces.
Okay, what I'm saying is, what you have to also understand, like the normal forces are. Do you even account for that?
Yeah,
They're-
you
they're
absolutely have to
negative.
account for the normal force. Otherwise, the thing would be moving.
Okay, so you're saying that if I put 100-pound weight on something, then 100 pounds needs to be forcing upward?
Yes, that's
Absolutely
what the normal
not.
force is.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Before we continue, I really gotta verify something.
Sure.
One sec. Want to make sure that this is visible. Okay. I really got to check something. Can you answer this fourth question?
Oh my gosh. What's the fourth question? I can't even see it. What's it say?
You can't see it? It's on your phone.
No, I'm looking on my phone. I can't. I have my glasses on and everything. It's so small. Fourth question, number 4. What does it say? A car is moving down a flat horizontal highway at a constant speed of 12. Is that meters per second?
21 meters per second, when suddenly a rock dropped from rest straight down from a bridge crashes through the windshield. The rock strikes the windshield at a right angle, and the windshield makes a 60-degree angle with the horizontal. Can you find the speed of the rock relative to the car when it hits the windshield?
Oh man, you sound like I'm about to take my PE again. Listen, I have no clue what you're trying to get from, and I mean, I'm not saying any of these things you can't get the speed or anything. What does that have to do with the shape of the
Every
Earth?
single civil engineer should be able to answer this question.
Okay, what does that have to do with the shape of the Earth? Is what I'm saying.
I don't believe that you're a civil engineer.
Oh, so your point is you want to show me? Okay, that was
Yeah,
good.
my point is that you have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you haven't even let me say anything.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what's the
yeah,
answer? How would you solve that problem?
Oh, give me back the equation.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying it hit a rock. Suddenly a rock dropped from rest straight down from a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Straight down from a bridge. If it's over a bridge, how did it hit the car? Where's the car?
The bridge is over the road.
Okay, so crashes through the windshield. The rock strikes the windshield. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a mass balance. I mean, it's a force mass balance equation. But you know, I'd have to think about it. This is an interesting question, but I'm not exactly sure what that has to do with the shape of the Earth. That's what I'm saying.
Just
does it have
because
to
it's
do?
pretty clear to me that, like, I don't even think you know how you would start this problem.
Okay, You tell me how you would start it.
Yeah, so what you would do is you would work.
Okay, let me.
So what you would do is you would work in the reference frame of the car.
What you
You
just
know
did
the
was
angle.
show me
You know
that
the angle
because-
at which the rock is striking the windshield. You know the angle
What?
of the windshield, which is 60 degrees, which means that because it's striking the rock strikes the windshield at a 90-degree angle. You know that from the reference point of the car, in the car's reference frame, the rock is moving at a 30-degree angle. Now you have a right triangle. You know the vertical speed, which is 20, or you know the vertical speed, which you can.
You know what's so silly? You haven't even told me how far the rock is falling. So that doesn't.
I'm sorry. You don't need any of that.
You absolutely do. How?
No, you don't.
Because the
You don't need
rock
the
is
height.
going to be excuse me, sir. The rock will be accelerating. Of course, you would need to know how fast the rock was. The rock, if the rock
you
is
don't.
going to be,
you
if the
actually
rock
don't.
is-
That's the lovely part.
Hold on. So you're saying that the rock is falling from the bridge, it's not going to be accelerating down?
No, it is accelerating. You just don't need to. You just don't need to know that in advance.
You would need to know the speed of the rock. You would need to know the height of the
No,
bridge.
you don't. No, you don't. You
So
want me to
how
show
would
you
you
the
know how
answer? I
fast the
can
rock
actually
is
show you the
going?
worked answer if you want.
You're on this like.
Do you want me to show you the worked answer? I can show you the worked answer. I think it was
What I'm
the
saying
homework
is,
assignment
this
that I
has
assigned.
nothing to do with what I call. I didn't call to take your exam. What I'm saying
This was like homework, by the way, for like 18-year-olds.
I really don't care. I just debunked this stupid homework where you don't even give all the information.
You don't
and then
need
wanna say,
you don't
well,
need that
don't
information.
know.
I can give you the solutions if you want.
Bro.
Yeah, here's the solutions.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Answer my question. How come Antarctica gets 5 months of sun and then 5 months of darkness? What is that about?
Because it's on the South Pole.
Okay, so
That's what
let me
it's
get this
about.
right. Are you sticking to the ground?
By the
Are you
way,
sticking to-
just for everybody, just so everybody can see. One sec. I will answer your question in a moment. Here's the solution that my grad student wrote up. In the car's frame, the car is moving to the right. The windshield is 60 degrees. The car has a velocity of 21 meters per second, which means that relative to the car, the rock is moving horizontally at 21 meters per second. And so you can use the angle, which is known to be 90 degrees relative to the windshield, and basically the shape of a right triangle to establish that the relative speed is 14 times the square root of 3 meters per second. You don't need to know how fast the rock is going. You can actually find how fast the rock is going. Anyway,
How do you find out how fast the rock is going without knowing how far it fell? That's how.
Because
now,
you know the angle that it makes with so you didn't understand. I understand that.
I really
Look,
thought you were serious.
so you don't know. You don't understand it,
wait.
and that's fine. I can explain it for you. The point is, you know what its horizontal velocity is.
Leave the equation
You know
up there
what it's.
so I can just tear it
Sure.
apart, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tear this apart.
Okay.
Tear it apart.
First of all, thank you. So you're saying you're asking where's the velocity? Where? How fast is the rock going? Where?
You don't need that
where's the
information to solve this
equation?
problem.
What equation are you using? What equation? What?
You're using right triangles. So we know what the
right triangles is not an equation, sir.
Yeah, we're essentially we're
What
using
is the equation?
we're
What
using the
equation are you
definition of
using?
the sign. This is basic trigonometry.
I'm stupid, but I'm
I know.
sorry. You're right.
Do you
I'm
want me to
stupid.
do you want me to explain it to you again?
No,
so
show
we know
me. Don't
we know.
explain
I'm
anything.
showing
Show
I'm
me the
showing it to you right
equation
now.
you're using.
I am.
You said you guys that you said you're third grade. This is what I'm saying.
So
This is like the
here,
foolishness.
so in the car's frame, this is a diagram of what's
TikTok.
happening. We have that the car is moving to the
I don't
right
ca-
at 21
where's the
meters per
formula?
second. Look,
Where's the formula?
Classic
You're just
engineer
showing me
only
some-
understands formulas, doesn't understand diagrams. I get it. The car is moving to the right at 21 meters per second, which means that the rock from the car's frame is moving to the left at 21 meters per second. You want to find the relative velocity. Now we know that the angle of the windshield is 60
Relative
degrees.
velocity.
Yeah, that's what the question asked. We know that the angle is 60 degrees, obviously not drawn to scale here. So you can use that. These are basic trigonometric facts that you can find the angle here between this being 60 degrees and that being 60 degrees, and then you can just use the definition of the sign.
You're making so many assumptions.
The sign of 60 degrees.
Of the windshield.
You don't need any of this.
You have to know how fast.
You don't need any of this. You don't need any of that. You just need to know that the sine of 60 degrees is equal to the velocity of the car divided by the velocity of the rock relative to the car. That's all you need. That's a basic trigonometric fact once you draw out the diagram, and then you can solve for the velocity of the rock.
How heavy is the rock?
That's unrelated to the speed. It's unrelated to the speed.
I didn't come up. Okay, so let me get this right. I'm the
Man,
first person.
and you're a civil
the
engineer?
actual
Oh my
engineer.
god, bridges
I'm the
that you
first
bridges
person
that you
actually
that you build are
gave
going to
a-
collapse. This is so embarrassing for
You
you.
gave, yeah, it's so embarrassing that you gave me a test. That was good. I love that. Like, okay,
And you
so
failed.
your job is when you find somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, you give them a
But you
test that is
don't. But
erroneous.
you don't know what you're talking about
But
because
you
you
don't
couldn't
know what you're
solve
talking about, 'cause it's on
so I've
TikTok.
assigned this homework assignment specifically. I've assigned this
I
homework
don't care
assignment
what you
to
assign. Your
18-year-olds
students are
2
actually must
weeks
be
after they
stupid.
start.
I
2 weeks
really
after
don't
they start
care.
college, they're able to
You
solve
haven't
this
shown me
question.
one formula. Oh, you just showed me an angle, and that's supposed to mean something?
Here's a formula. Here's a formula right here. The velocity of the car divided by the relative velocity of the car divided by the relative velocity of the rock with respect to the car is equal to the sine
where
of
did you
60
get
degrees.
that formula from?
From basic trigonometry.
The relative velocity divided by the velocity?
The
is gonna
velocity of
give
the
you
car
sine of-
divided by the relative velocity of the rock with respect to the car is equal to the sine of 60 degrees.
That's going to give you okay. Velocity divided by velocity is going to give you. You're
These
going
are
to
two
cancel
different
those terms out.
velocities. These are two different velocities.
and
One
those-
is the velocity of the car.
and
The other is
and
the relative velocity of the rock with respect to the car.
And they're going to cancel each other out. So
No,
what
they're
is your
different
point?
velocities. They're not going to
In
cancel
a-
each other out.
in
The
a
velocity
ba-
of the
in a
car
balanced
is one
equation.
leg of a right triangle. The relative velocity is the hypotenuse of the right triangle. Use your Pythagorean theorem. They can't be the same number.
Use my that's not a formula, sir.
The
I mean,
Pythagorean
like,
theorem is
you're just
absolutely
so-
a formula.
Like absolutely, you're like somebody who's trying to be intelligent, but you don't know how to be intelligent. You're just like use your
This is so
Bro,
embarrassing for you. You couldn't even
Yo,
solve
it's
the
embarrassing
first
for you
part
because you're
of a
on
freshman
you're demonstrating to
engineering
everybody who's
physics
listening,
course.
They're begging you to show me
This
something
is so
that's actually gonna mean something.
embarrassing.
Okay, so let me get this right. You want to tell me it's embarrassing that I don't know some random equation that we're talking about the flat Earth, and so you divert from what we're talking about to go to some random equation to say it's embarrassing.
It is
Great, I'm
embarrassing
glad
that you don't
everybody
know
on TikTok
basic
is seeing how
Yeah,
transparent
it's embarrassing
you are.
because you don't
are
know
a
basic
fake.
kinematics and you claim to be
You
a civil
are
engineer.
fake. I thought you came with you had some intelligence. You're just like faking, like, oh, okay, I'm just here to just own and embarrass people. I'm not here to actually talk real science.
I'm sorry.
I thought you were
Do you
coming here
think
to talk real
that?
science.
Do you think that like Newtonian kinematics is real science?
We don't use Newtonian anything in real life. Nothing.
I'm sorry.
Nothing.
What do I don't know? Artillery engineers do when they try to figure out how far away
we use
a
regular
rocket
physics.
will land.
They use
That's
regular
Newtonian.
physics.
That's
Show
Newtonian
me an
kinematics,
equation
dumbass.
where they use Newtonian. Once again,
Do you know what
you're
Newtonian kinematics
you're
are?
so intelligent. Show me an equation where they use anything Newtonian or anything different jabbers you're talking about.
Do you not know what Newtonian kinematics are?
Do you?
Yeah,
Do you
Newtonian
know what they
kinematics
are?
are
You're
things
saying
like
it, but do you know? What is Newtonian kinematics? Tell me what it is. Tell me
so
what it is. Tell me.
Newtonian kinematics are just the kinematics of Newtonian physics, which are also known as mechanics.
What is Newtonian physics used for?
Newtonian physics is used for literally your entire job. That's like
We don't
balancing
use
of forces.
anything
That's Newtonian
Newtonian.
physics.
How you want to
Balancing
tell me
of
what I use for you? Show me one thing.
You're a civil engineer. F equals ma, my guy. F equals ma is Newtonian kinematics.
Yeah.
Actually, that's
No,
Newtonian
that's
dynamics.
just
Well,
normal
yeah, that's
physics.
kinematics.
Forces
That's
and mass
Newtonian
times stuff,
kinematics,
that's
my guy.
normal physics.
Or
But
rather,
even
that's
that
dynamics,
has to be
more
applied
specifically.
in some fashion. You just can't say mass times accelerator. You have to apply it because depending on the type of situation, it's going to be different. So you're just rambling off. F equals ma. Anybody can know that from physics. You're not even.
That's
I thought you were
Newtonian
intelligent.
mechanics.
I thought you were intelligent. You're just like smug, stupid.
And I thought you were a civil engineer.
But you haven't proven anything by giving me some random thing
great
from
boy.
your.
I
you
have
just wanna
proved
show me-
something. I've proved that you're not a
just
civil
wanna show me something
engineer.
From your grad school.
I've proved that
Is
you're
that
not a
what you
civil
were trying to
engineer.
do?
Or if you are a civil engineer, you haven't used your brain in
difference-
30 years.
Listen, at this point, your point is just to deep. Your point is not to actually talk about what we're talking about. Your point is just to say, oh, well, hold up. This guy's qualified. Let me sort of like make him unqualified. Oh, you think you're this. You think you're that. You're just like you're like a babbling fool. Like TikTok, I thought TikTok had intelligent people. You're using no intelligence.
Keep on crashing
just
out. It's fine.
insulting. No crash out, buddy. No crash out.
You don't think that was a crash out? That was a That was a crash out.
Bro, I'm just saying you're doing nothing. There's no crash out. You haven't answered one of my questions.
Brave boy, the reason why I asked you that question is because you made the wild-ass claim that you never use gravity as a civil engineer.
I said, listen,
which is a crazy claim, because of course you do.
Can I
That's
clarify?
how you compute the weight of something. You may clarify, yes.
Okay. Now we're talking about discussion. Gravity, what is gravity? What is gravity?
Gravity is the observed phenomenon of mass attracting mass.
Exactly. And what I'm saying is there's never a situation where one mass is attracting another mass.
I'm sorry, what do you think the Earth is? Hold on. Is the Earth a mass?
Let me just finish what I'm saying, sir. Let me just finish. Instead of you just like, it's just like this craziness.
I'm sorry, do you think that the Earth is a mass?
Hold up. What I'm saying is I do things inside the Earth. I don't do things outside the Earth.
What does inside the Earth mean?
Meaning water, air, wind.
Those are inside the Earth? Well, look, is the Earth a mass or not?
It's a system.
Does the Earth have mass? Like the ground, the rocky bit, does that have mass?
If I dig it up, that's the mass. I don't use the whole
have mass. Does the Earth have mass?
Dirt is mass. I don't say
the whole. Okay, so you know how there's dirt below you, and then there's dirt to the either side of that, and if you keep digging down, there'll be like more dirt and rocks, and maybe lava eventually or something like this.
In real life,
all of that stuff, does it have mass?
It's mass. What I'm saying is not being attracted to anything else.
You didn't answer my question. Does it have mass?
It's not attracted to anything else. What is it being attracted to?
I'm sorry. Does it have mass?
It is mass.
That's a category error. Does it have mass? Things aren't mass. Things have mass.
Well, I'm just saying the dirt has a mass, right?
Yeah, and so the sum total of all of the dirt over the entire Earth has mass, right? And all of the rocks and all of the lava, all that stuff has mass, right?
Sure.
So, and when I take a little cube, this has mass, right?
Yeah, but that's not gravity. You keep saying
I'm sorry,
mass.
I'm not done yet. I'm sorry, I'm not done yet. This has mass. And so when I say the phenomenon of two masses attracting each other, and I drop this, are those two masses getting closer together?
They're not attracting each other.
I'm sorry, are those two masses getting closer together?
Not attracting each other.
Are those two masses getting closer together? I'll ask a third time.
You drop
are those
any
two masses
object,
getting
it's going to
closer
go
together?
straight down.
Are those two masses getting closer together?
You're not being smart. It's a phenomenon.
Are those two masses getting closer together?
A cloud can do it.
Are those two masses getting closer together?
Are they attracting each other? No.
That was my question. Are they getting closer to each other? Are they getting closer to each other?
No.
They're not getting closer to each other. So you're telling me. So to be clear, and I just got to mute you for a second because I just want to clarify this. So to be clear, you're telling me that when I drop this, it's not getting closer to the ground? Is that what you're telling me?
That is the mass. The object that you drop is getting closer to the ground.
Right. And what do you call it when two things get closer to each other?
They're not getting closer to each other. What I'm saying. So are you saying
the distance between them is shrinking? Is it not?
So how is that applied in civil engineering? How is dropping something applied in civil engineering, Brainiac?
Well,
how is it?
Typically, you want things to not drop, so you have to take into account the force that is pulling it to wants it to drop.
Sir. All the like what I'm saying is in real life.
Here, do you want me to show you examples of statics that use this? I can do that if you want. Here, one sec. Let me pull up. Let me show you some equations. You want equations? We can do equations. I love equations.
No, I don't want equations.
I thought you just said show me the equations.
What I want is you just.
So should I show you the equations or should I not show you the equations?
Is it? Hold up. What is this like? I won't.
Do you want the equations or do you not want the equations? Yeah. So here we go.
Here's some equations. I'm trying to have a serious debate.
No, you're not.
Well, I realize you're not serious. You're not a serious.
So here's a homework problem. This is from week 7.
I don't need another homework problem.
Apparently you do because you got to practice.
You got no.
This is a
you gave no one else
problem.
your homework. What do you give me homework for?
Because apparently you need to practice. Maybe you should go back and take your qualifying exam.
Are you sticking to the ground?
So if we have a construction crane with a load of 2,000, if we have a construction crane with a load of 2,000 kilogram cargo, A construction crane has a load of 2,000
No, you
kilogram
don't,
cargo
right?
container on one side of
is
its
that?
lifting arm and a tension wire on its other side to support the weight.
I'm not
The
angry.
crane's tower is 20 meters from the end of the lifting arm and 10 meters from the tension wire. The tension wire makes an angle of 15 degrees with the vertical. The lifting arm of the crane has a mass of 1,000 kilograms and the mass is uniformly distributed. By the way, I turned your volume down, so your volume is much quieter than mine. Now, question 1. What are the forces on the lifting arm of the crane? Do you know how to find the forces on the lifting arm of the crane?
That's civil engineering, right?
This is statics, yeah.
Well, it's civil engineering. They blend in. But what I'm saying to you is, are you sticking to the ground?
I'm sorry, what are the forces on the lifting arm of the crane?
No. Are you? You're not sticking to the ground? You're not sticking to the ground.
I'm
Does
sorry.
water stick to
What are
the
the
ground?
forces
Nope.
between the lifting arm, or
Water
what are
can
the
only be
forces
in
on the
something
lifting
that's a
arm of the
bowl.
crane? Okay, well, look, I guess you don't want to answer because you don't know how. The second
No,
question
I
is,
do.
what is the magnitude?
I understand trusses and
What is the
and
magnitude
static
of the
force.
tension force on the tension wire? This is the wire here. What's the magnitude of the tension force? Now, we can actually just go pull up the we can
You're
just
doing.
just go pull
hold
up
on.
the homework
Can I
solutions
ask,
if you want.
Can I ask you a serious question? Can I ask you?
You
a
can
serious
ask me
question?
whatever you want.
All right. Now,
Here's the homework, by the way. Here's the solution.
Geospace.
So we have a whole bunch of different forces here. So look, hey, look, it's an equation. Look at that equation. Isn't that a lovely equation? And we can
What
even
does it
solve
mean?
for
I
the
mean,
equation to get
what does that mean?
46.4 kilonewtons. Isn't that great?
We don't use newtons.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that we were talking about science. You use foot
Yeah.
pounds?
Yeah, foot pounds. Yeah, I mean, you could convert it into newtons, but I'm just
Or I'm
saying.
sorry,
in
no,
a
you
general
use
sense.
pounds force, not foot pounds, because foot pounds is a torque.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yes, of course.
So,
yeah.
so newtons is what scientists use. I would imagine
No,
that's what you use during your degree. Now, these are all equations, and I'm sorry,
saying
what's that little g there? What's that little g?
milligrams per liter. Is that what you're doing?
What's the little g there? You don't know?
grams? That's weight, right?
Oh, what you think that the G stands for grams? Well, I'm sorry, we have the force equals mg, F equals mg. What does the G stand for?
Is that gravity? Supposed to be
It is gravity. So it does show up in your job. I'm sorry.
Okay,
This is
hold on,
this
okay,
is a statics diagram. This shows up in your
okay,
job.
okay.
I understand maybe
No,
you just you just ship it
G-
off to computers nowadays. You don't actually think anymore, but this is part of your job.
Dr. Blitz. So you said gravity is attracting. Where is that G attracting to anything?
It's
G
attracting
is
to the
just a
ground.
downforce. No, sir. See, this is where a real engineer teaches you a little something. G is just a downforce.
Yeah, what
And
kind
G
of force
is
is
a
it?
downforce that's done
What is the
everywhere
origin
over
of
the
the
world.
force? Yeah,
Are
what
you
is the
sticking to
origin of the
ground?
force?
Are
What
you
is the
sticking to the ground?
Of course
Are
I
you
am. What is
sticking to the
what
ground?
is the origin of the
Let me
force, my guy?
Answer my question, yes or no.
I
Are
already
you
said.
sticking
I
to
said
the
of
ground?
course. I said of course.
You are sticking to the ground?
Yeah.
So right. So you mean that that force that's sticking you to the ground, I can't lift you up because that force is sticking you down, right? Of
No,
course
that
not.
doesn't follow.
Because you're not in a gravitational, you're in a buoyancy.
I can't believe that you actually passed a
Whatever-
physics
whatever-
1 course
I'm just
without
asking you a
understanding what
question.
net force
I can't
is.
believe you can't answer a simple question.
I've already
Is it-
answered your question. I answered.
You
I
have not
answered. Of
answered
course
my
not. That doesn't
question.
follow. I already did. You just didn't pay attention.
I just asked you a question.
I answered your question, and you just didn't. I guess you didn't hear
said,
it.
do you stick to the ground?
Of course.
So you have to lift your foot off every time you lift it up because your feet is being stuck to the ground?
Yeah, you have to apply it. You have to apply a force to lift your
Absolutely
foot
not.
up.
Okay, so let me ask you. So since the ocean, yeah, you're right. So the ocean, which is tons.
You should
and-
get your money back for your degree, by the way.
Okay, thank you for the insult. So you're saying that the water is
It's just
the
advice.
water that weighs a billion tons is being held down by gravity, right?
Yeah.
It's sticking to the ground, right? So that same force that's holding all that ocean back is holding you down.
Yep.
Yet you're able to just float around and jump up and down, right?
Yeah,
that
because the
really
force is
makes
proportional
sense,
to the product of their masses. So if you have a heavier thing,
and that's what
if
we
you have a
don't
heavier
use.
thing,
we don't use
so
any,
Brave
we
Boy,
use the downforce.
Brave
we don't
Boy,
use anything as
you use
gravity.
F equals mg, right? You use F equals mg,
What does F equals mg mean?
and you have an engineering degree, a civil
I'm
engineering
asking
degree.
you where, and you can apply it everywhere. What do you? Your point is okay. I got you. Your point is just a talk about my engineering degree. I got you. I see what you're saying. Okay,
You,
good.
it,
No, no,
it's
no,
just
no. I know.
like,
I'm.
hold on. I
no,
have a friend who's actually a
no,
civil engineer.
I don't care about your
Let me-
friend.
let
We're
me
just talking
text
about
him.
the flat Earth. We're talking about. You wanted to. I came up here to talk about, and now you want to talk about.
You
want to give
came
me
up here and I came
problems?
up here and to talk about, and like, look, bro, if you don't remember your civil engineering courses, that's fine. Like, you can
I'm
just say
asking
that.
you a question.
But like,
you said
this is
you
like
said,
fundamental to your field
why does Antarctica get 5 months of sun
because
and
it's at
nobody
the
no
South
one
Pole.
else gets it?
Do you want me to show you a diagram? I can show you a diagram if you want.
Don't show me anything. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. Why does the moon show up in the middle of the day with the sun being out at the same time?
Because the moon doesn't follow the orbit of the sun, or the orbit of the Earth,
They're
rather,
out
I should
at
say.
the same time. A
Yeah,
crescent
they can be out
moon
at the same time. Yeah.
and a crescent moon. So does
Yeah.
the hold on, let me get this right. So you also believe
Seems like you're
that the
confused.
sun hold on, do you believe that the sun is casting its shadow on the earth and that's creating the crescent of the moon?
No, that's not what.
Oh, well,
that's
how
not
do
why
you
the
get the
moon is a
crescent on the
crescent.
moon?
It's the
How do you get
shadow
the crescent?
from the moon itself. Do you not
The
understand
shadow-
this?
Okay. Oh, here's a great one.
How do
All
you
right.
not? Hold on. No. We're not
No,
gonna.
no,
We're
no,
not
no,
gonna
no, no,
pivot.
no,
I can't believe you don't
no.
understand this.
I let you give me 1,000 one.
Right. No. But we should talk about this
Do you
because
believe
you clearly
there's water
don't
on the
know the
moon?
answer to it.
Is there water on the moon? Is there water on the moon?
I don't think that there's liquid water. There might be ice. I don't know.
Okay, so there might be ice on the moon, right? Because of
Maybe.
cold,
I don't know.
Now let me ask you a question.
Hold on. We're not
How's
pivoting
that
off from this thing.
Hold
Do you
on.
think that?
Hold on.
On the
Let me finish.
globe
Let me
Earth?
finish. Let me finish.
No.
Sir.
We're not. I'm sorry. I'm not letting you finish. We're going to talk about the
Okay.
thing that you brought up earlier.
The
You think?
specific gravity
Do you think?
of water.
I'm
the
sorry, I have to
specific
mute
gravity
you.
of water.
Do you think that the reason why, at least under the globe model, why the moon has phases is because the Earth is casting a shadow? Is that what you think? Is that what you think we think? Because that's not what we think. You can unmute now.
I'm just asking questions. I'm not
Okay,
here to.
so do you want to know the actual
That's your job. Your
explanation
job is
in
to
the
rate
globe
me.
model? Do you want to understand what the globe
the-
model
the
says
globe-
is the cause of the crescent shape of the moon at different times of the month? Do you want to know the answer to that?
No, I don't.
Hold on. Then why the hell did you ask the question if you don't care about what the answer is?
What I'm asking you is that it is a belief that the sun casts a shadow on the moon. And it's impossible for the sun to cast a shadow on the moon if I see a crescent moon out in my sky and
so
the sun.
you say it's impossible, but you just don't want to know how it's possible, I guess.
Hold on. Let me just finish what I'm saying, sir. I'm giving, because everybody in the audience, when they go out, and especially at this time of year, they all can go out and see the sun and the moon out at the same time. It's not like I'm saying something crazy, because we've all seen it. And what I'm saying is, when the sun and the moon are out at the same time, it's impossible for the sun to be casting a shadow on the earth and then see the moon in the crescent form, because they
moon's
would be
crescent-
at two different places.
The moon's
It's
crescent.
impossible.
The moon's
It's
crescent is not from the
impossible
Earth.
for the sun to cast a shadow.
The moon's
onto
crescent
the
is not
earth.
from the Earth. Do you not understand? Like the moon is casting a shadow on itself. Like there's the backside of the moon that isn't facing the sun. Please, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle.
How do you
I'm in the
cast
middle
a
of
shadow on
explaining this.
yourself? That's
So
an
yeah.
impossibility.
Yeah. So brave boy, use that noodle of
How do you
yours.
cast it? No.
I'm gonna answer your question.
Yes.
Pay
that's
attention.
that's a big one. You
Pay
cast
attention.
a shadow on yourself.
Pay attention. Okay.
I am. I'm listening.
Okay, you're paying attention. Great. I actually should have like a good demo here, but I don't. So when you're facing the sun, your face is lit up, right? Is the back of your head lit up, or is it in shadow?
It's in shadow.
And what is casting that shadow when you're facing the sun?
No, a shadow is not being. The shadow's being cast onto the ground. There's nothing.
I'm asking, why is the back of your head dark when you're
because
facing
it has
the sun?
no light.
Right,
Because it
that's
has no
why,
light.
and that's why
It's not casting a shadow. It has no light.
That's what a
It's
shadow
not a
is.
shadow.
When you're in a shadow,
No, it's not
that's a place where
casting a
light is
shadow,
being
sir.
blocked.
Sir,
That's
it's
what a
not
shadow
casting
is.
No.
A shadow is a region where the light is being blocked from a light source.
No. A shadow
that's
is
not
from
what a
a
shadow
light
is?
source that's cast onto something else. You don't even. Yeah, there you go. It's a
So
little smirk.
a
But you don't even know
shadow
what you're talking
is a
about.
region where light is being blocked from a light source by some opaque object. That's what a shadow is.
Yeah,
It's
right.
an absence of light
I can't cast a shadow
caused by the
It's
blockage of a
impossible
light
for me to
source.
cast. Hold on. It's impossible for me to cast unless my hand could cast a shadow onto a part of my body. But what I'm saying is my body's not going to cast a shadow onto
The front
my body.
of your head is casting a shadow on the back of your head.
Actually, it's not casting anything. It's in the
You
dark.
just, I get,
It's not
okay.
casting.
So then, in the same way,
Casting is projecting.
look,
It's
I
not projecting
understand
anything.
that you don't like that language, so I'll just change the language so you're more comfortable. In the same way that the front of your head is blocking light from the back of your head, which puts the back of your head in the dark, the moon, the front of the moon blocks the light from the back of the moon, so the back of the moon is in the dark. That's why you get phases of the moon.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that when the sun is out and I'm seeing the sun at the moon at half crescent, that you're saying that somehow I can see the dark part and I can see the light part.
Well, you can't
and
see the
when-
dark part because it's
Huh?
dark. That's why you can't see it.
Actually, in the daytime, I actually can see through the dark part and I actually see the sky. And I see the part that's not shown on that crescent part.
No, you don't see the dark part at all. The dark part's not
It-
giving
it's-
off light,
it's
which is why you don't see it.
invisible. Because I actually see the part that's circular, and everybody can. There's nothing I'm saying that's weird. Anybody who could go outside and when they see the moon during the day and they look, they'll see a transparency between where the crest was supposed to be.
Oh, I see what you're confused by. You think that the moon is below the sky, but the sky is between us and the moon.
No.
And
I
so
don't-
the sky, because the sky is blue, whatever is not emitting light will look blue, which is why the part of the moon that you can't see looks blue because the moon is the moon is beyond the sky.
That's a great explanation, but what I'm saying is, as an earth scientist, I really
You're not an
care
earth
less about
scientist.
what I don't care about what the moon. I don't know anything about the moon.
I know you don't know anything about the moon.
Yeah, right. And I claim I know everything about the earth. Right.
I don't think you know
things
anything about the earth either. By the way,
Well, you don't even
just
know-
as a question,
you
just as a quick
okay.
question.
All right. Do you believe in the heliocentric or the geocentric model?
It's a category
of the
error.
Earth? Do you believe in the heliocentric or the geocentric model of the Earth?
A good simple way of describing the Earth's path is that it orbits the sun, if that's what you want.
I'm saying, do you believe in the heliocentric or the
It's
geocentric?
a category error. The question is mistaken. There's no one, like it doesn't make sense to say I believe in one or the other. It's just a different choice of reference frame.
Now, okay, just to say 1,000 years before
I have a-
Christ.
I have a quick question.
Hold on. Hold on.
Okay, you know what?
1,000
I'll
years
give you
before
one.
Christ. Hold on. 1,000 years before Christ. What was the model of the Earth? Was it a geocentric model?
They had a flat Earth model.
Okay, was it the geocentric model?
No, the geocentric model refers to a specific thing in which the sun
was it the
orbits the Earth
heliocentric
and the
model?
Earth is a sphere. No, it's neither of those.
Okay, so so let me ask you a question. That's a great question. Now, so you're saying 1,000 years before Christ, they had a flat Earth model, right?
Yep.
Now,
It
let
wasn't
me
really
ask
even a
you-
model, by the way. It was kind of just
Okay.
like a vibe.
All right,
But
fair
yeah.
enough. Fair enough. What about that model is not true today? What
Oh, yeah,
about that?
so
model?
that
Hold on,
model
hold on,
can't
hold
take-
on. Let me
I'm
let me be
answering your
clear for
question.
audience. Hold on, let
I'm
me be
answering your
clear for
question.
your audience. So I make clear. What about that flat? It's not that hard, sir. What about that flat Earth model is not true today? Everybody.
I'm answering your question. They
there you
can't
go.
account for time zones.
That's-
Their model had simultaneous night for everybody.
Okay, so not gravity, not all this other stuff, just the time zones.
Oh no, there's so much that it gets wrong. That's just the simplest one.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm saying is that model, I can do anything that they used in that model. I can do today, and I
No.
use in engineering. Tell me what I can't do. Tell me
You
what
can't
I
use
can't
time
do.
zones.
I don't need. What do I need
You
a time
can't-
zone for?
for figuring out what time it is in different places. Like it just doesn't match
I mean,
reality,
but
right?
Time is a relative thing,
in
right?
the no, it's really not. Like the point is that when it's noon in say Los Angeles, it's like midnight in India, which meaning that like when the sun is directly overhead in Los Angeles, the sun is not anywhere to be seen in India. And
but
on
Antarctica
the model,
is 5 months.
I'm in the middle of a sentence.
Sorry.
In the model that the model that people had 1,000 years before Jesus, they didn't think that was possible. They didn't think it was possible for it to be nighttime in one place and daytime in another place.
Okay, so Antarctica, which
are you going to address what I said at all?
What I'm saying, a time zone is fine.
That's
I'm not disputing a time zone. That's not even
right. So that's how we know that their model was incorrect.
Okay,
because it can't account for the observations that we have.
Okay, but you're saying you know that, but once again, I'm saying my model takes into account for the fact that the sun moves in a certain way where the sun revolves around Antarctica and Alaska for 5 months with sun showing, and here in America it doesn't show for 5 straight months. But somehow you believe
that works on a globe. How does it work on a flat Earth?
That's how it works on the flat Earth. That is the point.
So what? So do you have a map that you'd like me to refer to that I can see where the sun is?
Go to the United Nations logo. That's the map.
Okay.
The United Nations logo is the map.
Okay, great. I'm sure that this is what you think, and this is not going to go well for you. Let's pull it up. We're pulling it up. Don't worry. I just want to pull up a high resolution version of one because, then more people can see it. That's low resolution. This one high resolution? Okay, this one's pretty good. Great. So you mean this, right?
That is a model. Once again,
that's what you're working with, right?
No, I'm not working with any. I don't work with any.
This is what shape you think the Earth actually is.
I don't know what the shape the Earth is.
Okay, so then why'd you tell me to bring this up?
You said, do you have a map? I don't know what the map is. I'm just saying.
Okay, so you don't think that this accurately corresponds to the shape of the Earth?
What I'm saying is,
or the distribution of continents, perhaps.
I have zero clue about that. Honestly,
I'm sure. Clue. Yeah. So do you want to see how the 5 months of Antarctic day works on a globe?
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Okay, let me see if I can find a useful diagram for you because it might be tricky too.
So people in Antarctica are sticking to the Earth underneath us, right?
Well,
people in the South Pole are sticking. They're sticking to the ground. Like I'm sitting in my chair. I'm sticking to the chair. I'm not falling off the chair. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Huh? So down is towards the center. I don't know if you understand that.
I'm sticking to the soft cushion.
Down is towards the center. Do you understand that? Huh? Here's a good diagram. Okay. Okay. You see this diagram?
I'm sticking to the chair.
This is obviously not to scale, but you see the diagram, right?
It's obviously not to scale at all.
Yeah, like the sun's not that close. The sun's much bigger. But like this is a good way to convey the idea. So see how the axis of rotation in, the red dotted line. Oops, where'd it go? Where'd it come back? Okay. There we go. It's still not showing my cursor, but you see that dotted red line that shows you the axis of rotation?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so if it spins, all of those places at the very, very bottom, I wish I could show you my cursor. I don't know why it's not letting me show you my cursor. Come on. Let me show you my cursor. There it is. I saw it for a second. There we go. Okay. So all of the places that are south of this white line here, if it spins, will stay in daylight.
Okay.
And because Antarctica is south of that white line, it's further closer to the end there than that white line is. It will get daylight for more than 24 hours actually, because as the days progress, this relative gap here gets smaller, but still you will have daylight for, roughly 5 months or so, depending on where you are in Antarctica.
Okay. Okay, so just in that
I
diagram
think it's
that
closer
you
to
have
3
there.
months, but anyway, go
Okay,
ahead.
that's fair enough. Now, in that diagram that you're showing there, right there on the screen, when I look at video from Antarctica, or when I went actually to Alaska and I stayed there and I saw the sun revolving around the sphere, right? Revolving around in a circle. There is no way, first of all, the sun being a gazillion miles away would have to be a spotlight, or it can't be a regular light and be 1,000 miles away and light up everything and not light up the darkness. And this whole thing, the way that you're actually, if it's revolving around, your revolutions are off. You're saying it's doing it, but in real life, the sun does not move around the Antarctica like that. It doesn't move like that. It moves around the circle of around them.
Yeah,
as
it moves.
they're on
It starts off east, and then it goes north, and then west, and then south, and
right.
then east
But
again.
your diagram,
Which is exactly what the
those
diagram
two
would
things
show.
That diagram doesn't say that.
Yeah, it
And
would.
that-
Yeah, it does.
Are you?
You just have to use your spatial awareness a little bit,
No, you don't.
which I imagine
not
you
a little
have as a
bit.
civil engineer, right?
Okay, now you just want me just to drop all sense of sensibility.
I mean, like, if you were standing, oh, you can't see my diagram again. This is so annoying. If you were standing, say here, then
Upside
initially,
down, stuck to the
so
earth.
yeah, you're standing upside down. Initially,
and I'm
the
stuck to the earth, right?
Yeah, definitely. Initially, the sun
Are
would
you
look
stuck
like,
to the earth?
yes, initially the sun would look like it's south, and then 12 hours later, you would be over here, and it would look like that it is north. I'm sorry, I got that
Upside
backwards.
down.
Over here, it would be north. Over here, it would be south. So over 24 hours, it would go from appearing that it's in the north direction to appearing that it's in the south direction. And then if, this is a 2D depiction, so it's hard to show. But once you got to around here, it would be like it is in the east direction. And when it's on the other side, it would be like it's in the west direction.
Do you know how far the sun is supposed to be away from the earth?
Around 93 million miles, yeah.
So you're saying this 93 million mile away light is just very calmly just moving around the circle of the earth in these perfectly generated spheres, and it's all perfect.
Your
and
incredulity is not an argument. It only shows your ignorance.
I'm just asking you a question, okay? Like, what is this demand to sort of like vilify the other side? What is that demand about? You're like, everything you say is like somehow, well, you're just stupid, and you're a dumb engineer, and you're dumb. Where'd you get your degree from? Like that, I understand that's the model of how to engage with people. It's just like
Because you're not engaging honestly, that's why.
Because
You haven't been engaging honestly with me this entire time, so I'm kind of giving you back your. I'm kind of matching the energy that you have.
As civil as possible. I'm not demeaning.
Oh no, but you're not. You're engaging dishonestly.
No, I'm
Like
being
every time I bring up something that contradicts your worldview, you change topics. You try to pivot as hard as you can, or you ask incredulously, "What? So you're sitting? So people down there are upside down? Like it's not an honest engagement with the. It's not an honest engagement with the actual worldview.
That's an honest question.
Yeah, I'm giving you what you deserve because you're engaging dishonestly.
Okay, I can take a 50-pound ball and roll it on the ground, but
I don't really care. We're done. That was quite something, wasn't it? All right, let's read some super chats, and then we'll bring up our next guest. Oh, I have to write down when he left. Sorry, that was a long conversation, but we had to let it play out. So we have Brian. Ask him the second derivative to 2x squared. Yeah, I should have. That would have been good. Binary Ghost with the $5. I'm an engineer, and I can tell you the world actually doesn't exist, and neither do we. Crazy. I don't think that that's true, but okay. Then we have $5 from Jack. Thank you so much, Jack. This guy is not an engineer. Bridge spans factor in Earth curvature. No way he's legit. Yeah, that's my thinking too. I mean, like, there's even a fairly well-known bridge. It's called the Veneziano, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. This is a fairly well-known bridge, which is quite long. It's just a bridge. And so you can actually, like, it even just says, because of the height of the towers and their distance from each other, the curvature of the Earth had to be taken into account when designing the bridge. The towers are not parallel to each other, but are 1 5/8 inches further apart at their tops than at their bases. He should know that. Nick, with the 2 Canuck bucks, bridge goes up plus bridge goes down, Earth equals flat. True. You got me there. Binary Ghosts, thank you again for the $5. Binary says, please have the engineer callers list what they've worked on. I do not want to be anywhere near their creations. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a fair point. DNKL Divergence, which I don't know what 5000 CLP is. Oh, it's Chilean pesos. It's like $5. How do FLERFs explain submarine internet cables? 95% of internet traffic travels through undersea fiber optic with lengths that would be impossible under the flat Earth model, especially on the southern hemisphere. That's true. Most of them say that, oh, there's not a lot of cables in the southern hemisphere. And that's true. There aren't a lot because the distances are quite large. But there are some. Icy Spin with the $2. Thank you. People still think Earth is flat. What year is it? Yeah, it feels like it's, 1450. Virtuous Path with the $5. This guy won't be able to explain what terminal velocity is. Yeah, but he's a civil engineer. We don't expect that of him. Tim Davidson sends $2 to say, the scream of confidence guest must be right. Yep. Fierce Interaction says, loving the surprise math questions for engineers. Please do this more. Yeah, I'm going to start doing it more. If they're claiming to be an engineer and they can't answer simple questions like that, sorry. I'm just not going to believe you. Deep Blue Sea, thank you for the $5. He sounds like Plankton. Where's the formula, crabs? That's so funny. Ekipo with the €6. Blitz, please make use of the mute button. I have a headache trying to listen to 2 voices at the same time. I try not to use it too much, only when there's something that needs to get out. Orion with the $2. How is I debunked your homework graded? Oh, it's not. He would get a 0. Isabel sends $5. This guy has a PhD in projection. Yeah. Icy Spin sends $2 to write, you mad, bro? I guess he was. Nightman Cometh with the $10. We did stuff like this in high school. Now, granted, I was about as good at trig as this guest, but I don't lie about being an engineer, right? Engineers should be good at trig. They should remember SOHCAHTOA. Mountains Peak sends $2. Fake engineer exposed as a complete liar. Thank you, Blitz. Yeah, that might be the title. I think that's going to be the title of the YouTube video. Carissa Wieland sent 10 Dr. Blitz Debunks gift memberships. By the way, y'all, if you are a Dr. Blitz Debunks gift member, or if you're a Dr. Blitz Debunks member, period, then you actually can get access to the debate notes. Now, the debate notes are here. It's these things, which have access to a whole bunch of questions and sources and papers and all sorts of things like this. I should show it to you guys too. So you guys should consider becoming a member on a member on Patreon or a member on YouTube. It's like $4 or $5 a month. Goulian sends $5. It scares me that my niece, who just graduated middle school, has a better understanding of science than a boomer civil engineer. He graduated in '97 though, so he's not even a boomer. He's like maybe Gen X, which is so hard to believe. Duke of Shaska, yes, you try to be intelligent, but your gravity has nothing on Brave Boy's degree in civil incredulity from the University of Life Department of feels like. Yeah. Discordant Rhyme with the almost 3 Canuck bucks. For a civil engineer, he's not very civil. The thing is he was acting in bad faith the entire time. Automatox with the $2. I'm an engineer. I choose you. Binary Ghosts, what school gave this caller his degree in civil engineering? How did he pass the FE and PE? Yeah, that's my question. I think he should get a refund. Alexander sent $5. You have to lift your foot up. When you lift your foot up, Globehead's destroyed. Yeah, right. There, you have to put in effort. There's a reason why when you get tired, anyway, Icy Spin says $100 says he doesn't know Pythagorean theorem. Yeah, he didn't think it was a formula. Shauna sends 5 Australian dollars. I'm saying nothing when you say it perfectly. Okay, I appreciate that, Shauna. Nightman Cometh with the $5 again. Screw engineering. This guest needs to go back to watch some Bill Nye the Science Guy. I agree. Yeah, he probably does. Gretchen with the $3. Phases of the moon due to Tesla coils on moon, obviously. Jack Fetter, at precisely 12:53 p.m. EST, I lost the will to live. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Will Dance with the $5. If begging the question fallacy was an actual person at Brave Boy, that's what was happening. He just wouldn't engage honestly with anything I was saying. Binary Ghosts sent $5. Thank you so much, Binary. This guy sounds like that dude from Iron Man 1 that got fired and now says 1 × 1 = 2. He does sound like Terrence Howard, yeah. Nightman cometh again with the $10. This guy won the Dunning-Kruger Student of the Year Award at Terrence Howard University School of Civil Engineering. He minored in gravity doesn't exist studies. You guys are too funny. We have £2 from Too Much Vimto. Great live show today, Blitz. Well, thank you, Too Much Vimto. Iconoclodge sends $2. Maybe he's an engineer like he drives the train. That's a kind of engineer, you're right. We have a few more to go and then we'll bring on another guest, y'all. Dylan with the $5, not related to the flat earth nonsense, but what is the clear, unambiguous distinction between a microstate and a macrostate in a complex system? There isn't one. In thermodynamics, you can talk about the total number of you can talk about the complete set of variables you need to describe macroscopic quantities, like to describe things like temperature and so on, but there isn't a clear, unambiguous distinction for general systems. Chris with the 2 Canuck bucks. My brain cells are getting fried by stupid people. That's why we do this. It's for the fun. Juanet said, sends $5. Ancient engineers understood time zones and the curvature of the Earth. Check out Eratosthenes' experiment, which actually proved the Earth has curved. Right, so that's true. But the ancient Hebrews, about 1,000 years before Jesus lived, they didn't have that view. They had a much more rudimentary view. They didn't think that time zones existed. Might you find it internet with the $5? I'm just asking questions. I don't need answers. Yeah, so it's called jacking off, JAQ, just asking questions. And if you don't want an answer, then why ask the question? Anyway, we should move on to our next guest. Let's talk to Washavoy. All right, let's talk to Azazel. Azazel, how's it going?
So I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What shape do you think the Earth is, Azazel?
I have 2 simple questions.
Can you answer my question first, please? Just straightforward.
Yes.
What shape do you think the Earth is?
It's flat.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
All right. Can we go back to the diagram you showed the guy earlier?
Which one?
The one with the axis tilted.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
This one?
I'm not seeing any. It's black. Your screen is black. I don't know why.
Oh, sometimes that's a glitch that TikTok does sometimes. Maybe
right,
close the app and then reopen it. Like, don't shut it out, but just minimize the app and then reopen.
All right.
Can you see it now?
Nothing.
Okay, well that's on your end. Everybody else can see it.
Oh, it's all right. Let's just pretend we're looking at it. All right.
Yep.
All right. I know that the Earth is, according to the glow model, the axes are tilted and how the whole system works. My question is, if you are standing at the equator and you're looking at the right above you 90 degrees, it's called, the line prime vertical. You know what that is, right? I see that. I see
You're looking straight up?
Yeah, straight up.
Okay.
How does the stars move at the prime vertical at night in the equator, according to your glow model?
Because the Earth is rotating, and so even though there's I don't. Can you see the diagram yet?
I see it. Yeah.
Okay, one sec. Let me just fix something and see if you can. Okay, so if you're standing here, say it's midnight, right? You're standing here. You're facing this way, straight up.
Exactly.
Will be pointing in one direction. It'll be pointing towards a star that's going in this direction. But as you rotate, as the Earth rotates, say now you're here, pointing straight up, like maybe it's now 3 in the morning or something, pointing straight up will be kind of like out of the screen towards you at an angle. So that will just point at a different star. So at different times of day, or different times of night rather, your straight up will just be pointing in a different direction as the Earth rotates.
Exactly. So the stars should move from the east to the west on a straight line, right?
Which they do on the equator.
But there's, and if you look at the north, what kind of behavior do you see of the stars?
You would see that they would rotate about an axis, about a central axis, yeah.
And then if you look in the south, you see
it would be the other direction. Yep.
But there's no perfect straight line when it should be. There's no,
I don't know what you mean. There's no perfect straight line.
That's the group of stars that are moving from east to west.
Hold on, let me show you something. You mean it on the equator?
On the equator, yeah.
Let me show you a picture.
We will need a timeline and observing.
This is a time lapse. Sorry, that's really blurry. Well, we can go find others, but this is a picture. This is a long exposure picture from the equator. You can see in the middle they are just moving straight up and down, which would be east to west.
And where's that picture from?
It's just a photograph. I can go find another. I just googled star trails at the equator. I can go find more for you if you want. This is from Los Silos del Ecuador. Here's another one. It's a little bit smaller. But again, you see the same thing. This is like a 180 degree thing. So you're seeing at the top here, this is behind, and at the bottom, this is in front.
Yeah, I've been looking for videos to find a time lapse. 3 cameras, one looking at the north, one looking at the south. But we need, observing a group of stars, and if they are going a straight line. I have never seen any proof of that. That's my first question.
Well, so I mean, this is a picture, right? Like that's a time lapse, or that's not a time lapse. That's a long exposure picture. Isn't that what you want? I mean, but in fact, I bet you I could find a time lapse of 100%. I bet you I could find a time lapse star trail equator.
I looked everywhere. I cannot find anything.
Here we go.
We have one looking at the north. We have one looking at the south. There is nothing parallel.
I found one.
The whole sky. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
You can see in the middle, the ones are moving straight, right?
All right. And what would the location of this time lapse would be?
Let's find out.
South America, right?
They didn't put the location in the description. The title of the video is time lapse video of stars diverging at equator.
All right. Can I go to my next question?
So it could be fake. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, but I appreciate that the answer, because I have looked everywhere for a proper.
But like, there's like a lot, right? Like that was just the first one. I just found another one. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Here we go. Right. So like there's a lot. Not all of these are at the equator, of course. But like some of them definitely are, like this one, for example. So I don't know, like it seems like you didn't actually look.
All right, thank you for answering. But my next question is, I think, is more important. Thank you for answering that. My next question is, how come at June we have over 95%, 99% of Earth seeing?
It's in July, actually. I think it's July 7th.
Yeah. June, I think. Yeah. How is that even possible in your global?
Because most humans live in the northern hemisphere, and the Pacific Ocean is about the same size as the rest of the landmass on Earth. And so you have most people who live on land, because most people do live on land, and of those people, most of them live in the northern hemisphere. And so at like around noon, which is around noon for like, it's like noon for like the Middle East or something like this, on July 7th or whatever it is, that's when most of the land mass of the Earth that has people on it is illuminated. It's not 99% of the Earth is illuminated. It's 99% of the population is, and the humans are not uniformly distributed on the Earth.
But the claim that they say it's Earth itself. It's not people.
Then whoever's making that claim is wrong, because it's not the Earth itself. It's the people.
All right. Thank you for answering. I enjoy that. Thank you very much for letting me come in.
You're welcome, SSL. Thank you for being here.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, let's bring up Jeffrey Soros. That's a fun name. Jeffrey Soros.
Hi, how are you? How are you?
I'm doing okay. Jeffrey, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I am the sexiest man in the universe. Every galaxy exists for me only, right?
Talk to MKB Studio Creations. MKB, how's it going? MKB? MKB? Looks like they're not here. Let's bring up Zen. Okay, let's bring up Lewis. Luis. Lewis, how's it going?
You had it right, it's Luis.
Luis, great. What shape do you think the Earth is?
It's round.
Okay, so why'd you join?
Oh, you're going against flat earthers.
It says think it's flat. Join the live.
Oh, opposition. I misunderstood it, but no, I'm with you, man. Earth is round.
Thanks for being here, Luis.
Thank you, man.
All right, let's talk to maybe Denzel or Denzel. Maybe,
hello.
how's it going?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm doing it A-okay. What shape do you think the Earth is, maybe?
Alright, yeah. So I think it's round. I gotta say one thing. If you think the Earth is flat, try to make your own experiments and do your
It says join if you're opposition. Please follow the rules next time. All right, let's talk to X-Rid.
It says
X-Rid.
flat Earth is dead, brother. That's what it says.
What shape do you think the Earth is, Rid?
I think it's round.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know. That's what everybody's seeing.
Yeah, it does say flat Earth is dead.
That's what's standing out to me and everybody else.
Yeah.
Much love.
Because flat Earth is dead. Well, at least it should be. Unfortunately, it seems like it's not, but it's still a good prompt. Let's talk to Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, what's up?
Leroy, how's it going?
Doing alright, and you?
I'm doing all right. What shape do you think the Earth is, Leroy?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. For some people, it's flat.
I'm asking what shape you think it is.
That's insignificant for my argument.
Then why'd you join?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say that flat Earth is anything but that. I think in Brazil, 12% of the population define as flat earthers. So actually, they are on the rise. You're losing this battle, unfortunately.
So why did you join if you don't want to talk about the shape of the Earth?
Well, it says on your prompt, flat Earth is dead. I just went out to tell you that it's not that. And then besides that, why does it
Sounds like you
actually
don't
matter?
want to talk about the shape of the Earth. That's fine. Uh-oh. It looks like our guest box is empty from people who I want to talk to. I guess that, I guess we'll just have to wait. There are 1,000 of y'all. You guys can absolutely join the live and we can talk. Oh, I'm not going to talk to Angels of Light. I've already done a formal debate with him. He's a dishonest interlocutor. Why would I want to engage with somebody who's dishonest? Talk to Kravis. Also, it's funny to troll him like this. Kravis, how's it going?
I'm a pussy-loving man.
I believe it. Let's talk to Go Caving. Go Caving, how's it going?
Hey Blitz, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, Caving. What shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's flat.
And why so?
Because I think that you should go caving, dude.
You know what? Based and going caving pilled. So Damn Logic we've already talked to. Angels of Light we're not going to talk to. And Urbex, I think that we already talked to as well. So, that means the guest box is empty, y'all. So if you think the Earth is flat, then feel free to hop in the box and we can talk about it. We can talk about what evidence, we can talk about, you know, what you believe, what you think that I believe, probably incorrectly. We can talk plenty. Religion debate instead. We only have like 30 minutes left anyway. There's not much to do. Oh, let's talk to Daryl. Daryl, how's it going?
Good, buddy.
Glad to hear it. What shape do you think the Earth is?
I want to know. Okay, so I'm a round earther, but I'm also a flat earther, just newly starting to look at it.
Then you're not a round earther. Why would you say that you're both?
I think I'm more so towards flat, and I'll tell you why. A couple reasons.
Then why would you say that you're a round earther?
No, I was.
Okay.
I'm no. I don't think I am anymore. But I want you to look at a couple of things and discuss them with me. One is they said when you fly from, I think it's Auckland, New Zealand to around Chile somewhere, that if you look on the round map where the flight goes up into like the flight pattern goes way up into the States somewhere before it goes to Chile. But
Are
if
you
on
sure?
the flat, well, if you look
Because
on the
I know
flat,
exactly what flight you're talking about.
do you? And what?
Yeah.
Which is it true?
So you're talking. So it's
it's
a flight from Santiago to Sydney or vice versa.
okay.
Sydney, Australia, not New Zealand, and it actually doesn't. If you go look at the flight tracker, it actually flies south.
It does go south.
It doesn't cross over. It doesn't cross over the north at all. It's actually in the air right now. It's flying southwest.
Interesting, because I seen it before, and they said that it stops somewhere in the States before it goes to Chile, and I thought, why the hell would it go way up there? But they're saying on the flat Earth it goes straight across.
Yeah,
So
no.
you're saying on
So
the-
this flight
on the
exists.
globe
You
Earth,
can
it
go
goes
buy a
straight
ticket for it
across?
right now. You can fly from Santiago to Sydney.
Yeah.
It's about 14 hours, depending on the. I guess it's 13 hours, 17 minutes this time. You know, depending on weather and stuff. And it flies southwest, not northwest. Whereas on a flat Earth, you would expect it to fly northwest. Let me show you that picture. Let me just pull up a flat Earth picture. Need something that's higher resolution. There we go. If you were to, yeah, here you go. Can you see this?
Yep.
So if you were to fly from Santiago, which is around here, to Sydney, which is around here,
right,
one would expect that you should leave flying northwest, and then you should cross over at some. You should go northwest, northwest, then west, then west, then southwest. But in fact, what we see when we look at the actual flight tracker, this is like a flight that is currently in the air. They are flying southwest right now. They left Santiago flying southwest, getting close to the outer brim, in your view, and then getting and then landing in Sydney. That would be like going like this. You fly southwest here, then you go around the edge, and then you swing back up north. Now, why would they do that if the Earth was flat?
Good question, right?
It is a good question.
I didn't see it as that, though. Okay, so when I seen it, as I said, I seen that they went through the States. So somebody doesn't know what they were posting, and I read it and looked at it as being true. It wasn't. So then, okay, here's my next question then. What about the radar system? Because they can.
By the way, just before we move off this topic, there's actually another flight that's this is perhaps interesting for you. So there's this flight which flies from Santiago to Sydney. There's another flight that flies from JFK Airport in New York to Tokyo, which is it's a very similar flight. It's just kind of like flipped around the equator. See that? See what I mean?
Yeah.
And they take basically the same amount of time. This one's like just shy of 13 hours. This one is a little bit more than 13 hours. They take basically the same amount of time. And on a globe, that would make sense because the north of the equator and south of the equator are like the same. They're symmetrical. Right. But on a flat Earth, they're not symmetrical. All distances should be shorter north of the equator. So you'd be flying from JFK to Tokyo. That should be a shorter distance than flying from Santiago to Sydney. But they're the same distance. They're the same duration. So that should really make you question the whole flat Earth business.
Okay, so now my
Anyway,
next
you were saying?
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So okay, so I know that radar waves, okay, cannot flex, but they can
What do
see
you mean
planes.
flex?
They don't bend. They're straight.
Sure they do.
They
They can
bend.
diffract. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
I mean,
told that they
like,
can't.
I mean, like, just as a good example, set up your Wi-Fi and then go around the corner, and you'll still get Wi-Fi.
Okay, but that's different. I'm talking
No,
about
those
the
are radar waves.
macro-
Those are radio waves, which is what radar is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't think it goes through the building?
I mean, it really depends. Like, radio waves can bounce. They can bend around corners.
Yeah, I think it would probably bounce around objects. I don't think it bends. I think it's straight. I think.
No,
it
I mean,
shoots
like,
straight, but I think it can
diffraction is a
deflect.
thing.
Yeah. Okay, so then my next big question is the photos. Why don't they have any photos from space of the round Earth? They're
They do.
saying that it's just a marble. All the pictures are set of
Here, let me
done
show
by
you.
AI and
Let me show you. Let me find a good high resolution one.
yeah, it hasn't been debunked by an AI guy.
Yeah, so this is kind of a low resolution version. But here, this photograph was taken in 1972, before AI existed.
I don't have any confidence in something from 1972. I don't think you should either.
It's a
Seriously.
that we should have more confidence in it because it was taken before like CGI existed.
Okay, good point. But it's color.
Yeah, they had color photographs back then.
Yeah. Okay, not for the standard user of people, you know.
In
public.
1972,
If you
they
look back-
absolutely did. Here's the same photograph, just with
Mhm.
it's just flipped. The other one was rotated the other way.
Yeah.
Like this is, they had color photographs back then.
Where's the stars? I don't see any stars behind it or in front of it or the moon or anything.
You shouldn't
Where's
shouldn't
all
expect to see them because you're exposed. Yeah, so in the same way that if you point in the same way that we can't see stars in the sky because the sun is too bright, the sky is too bright, we can't see stars here because the earth is too bright.
Hmm.
The earth reflects a lot of sun.
Okay. So that must that means the sun's shining on the whole half of the earth there. There'd be no dark. It's all be the same time of day.
Yeah,
Would it not?
that is half of the earth is lit up all the
Right.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't see the other half because it would be the backside or the last 3/4 of it, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, so then all these guys that are going on about flat Earth, they're saying that they can see Chicago from some point, and apparently it's a certain distance. I don't know how over 100 miles, and they're
No,
saying
they
how
usually
come
say
it's
that
not-
it's like 50 or 60 miles.
No, okay. And they're going if Earth is, the measurements for the curve or something are supposed to be 8 inch per square mile or whatever it is. Why can they see so much of Chicago?
Well, so there's a few things that are happening there. So one of the relatively well-known people who made this claim, his name is Nathan Thompson. He just lied about his location. In fact, if you go watch his video, he said that he's in like some town on the other side of the lake, when you can just like look at where like from the video you can see the surroundings, you can tell where he is. He's in a place called Evans Dunes, if I remember correctly, and that's much closer. So he just lied. But there are places. There's a place in you can see, for example, Milwaukee from across the lake on specific days. When the weather and atmospheric conditions permitting, because as I'm sure you're aware, like mirages over the ocean or over large bodies of water are pretty common. And so if you have the right atmospheric conditions, you can see much further than you would expect if there was no air at all. Because, air, like how glass can bend light, air can bend light. Depending on what the temperature is and so on, it will affect the path that the light takes. So sometimes you can see further than you should be able to. And that's easily attributable to atmospheric effects.
Right. Okay, so here's my next question. Okay, this one's going to be tough for you, I think. I have a buddy of mine. He flies in the Canadian Air Force. He flies like one of their heavy fighter jets. And he told me that when he can hit like around 3 Gs or 2.5 Gs, I don't know what speed that puts him at or whatever, but he said he can hold at that speed for around 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And at the rate of speed he's going, somewhere around 2,000 miles an hour, he said over the distance he travels, his footage from Earth doesn't change.
I don't know
And he
what that
said,
means.
There's no way. Well, in other words, if he sees 1,000 feet above Earth, okay, when he does this, when he's done, say he traveled whatever 400
He's
miles,
he's much higher than 1,000 feet, by the way.
I know, but I'm just saying his footage doesn't change at all.
I don't know what you mean by his. I mean, like,
dreams.
clearly, like, the stuff that he sees will be different, right? He'll see different terrain.
Absolutely.
He will
But
see, like,
he said
mountains
he
maybe, or
sees the
canyons, or
Earth as
whatever.
flat when he's in a plane, just so you know too. He sees it as flat. He doesn't see any.
And plenty of airline pilots will say that it's obviously curved. So, like, I'm not really believing just like what a guy says. Like,
Okay,
I
well,
kind
he's
of require
young.
evidence.
He's 23. I guess he's about 23
Okay.
years old. Smart as a whip. Does not lie. I
I'm
know
sure.
this kid from
I'm
a long
sure.
time.
So does that mean that all the people who have claimed to have seen curvatures are lying?
No, I don't know anybody who has seen curvature. That's all.
Do you want me to show you a guy who not only saw it but took a photo from an airplane?
With a proper lens.
Yeah. He
Because I know
accounted for
there's a
all
lot
sorts
of
of barrel
lenses
distortion. Yep. He
Pardon
accounted
me?
for all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah, let me pull it
Yeah.
up.
Show me the picture. Let's see the picture. But let's just see.
It's actually not even not a single picture. It's an analysis, right? It's a full analysis of accounting for all the confounding variables. It's a paper, actually. It's a scientific paper.
Right. Well, that doesn't help me out. That's not proof. That's just what he wrote.
We're not done. We're not done. So importantly, so the first thing that he did is he did an analysis of the photographs of, like, the horizon near the ocean or high up in the sky to figure out exactly how he can tell where the horizon is. That's what this graph on the right is. I don't know why this is happening, but okay, there we go. So basically, when there's a sharp change in the color of a pixel, in the vertical color of the pixel, that indicates that there's a horizon there. That's where you should draw the horizon. So that's the standard that he's going to use. And then he basically has two different photos. These are the photos that he used to analyze the position of the horizon here. Now, he also noticed that for the same lens, same camera, same horizon, if the horizon is, sorry, let me move this. If the horizon is above the center, it'll look curved up. If it's below the center, it'll look curved down. If it's in the center, it'll look flat. So this is barrel distortion is what he's referring to. So he knows that if he puts it in the middle, it won't be distorted at all. So you don't have to account for the distortions of the lens as long as your horizon is in the middle. And so then, and here's a picture from sea level, you can see that there's clearly distortion if it's in the top half of the frame, or if it's in the bottom half of the frame, or if it's in the middle, there's minimal distortion.
Okay.
So then he takes a picture from a plane, 35,000 feet up, and he draws a horizontal line. You know how you can just go into Paint or something, just draw a horizontal line? He draws a horizontal line, and then he detects where the location of the horizon is using this method up here, right? Using the method that's up here, he detects where the location of the horizon is.
Yeah.
And he finds that it's slightly above the line in the middle.
It is.
So, and so what that means is that the middle of the horizon curves slightly higher than the sides. That seems like it's seeing curvature to me.
The light seems to be shining above the Earth, higher there than it is on the outside edges. I see that in the picture for sure.
So why is that doing it? If it's not curved, if it's flat, why would it do that?
Good question. I don't know. You know what? Maybe you could be right. I don't know. I would really like to know I wish there was they got all these satellites they say in the sky and all this stuff, but when do they ever send pictures of the Earth from them?
Every 10 minutes from some of them. Depending on the
Every 10
satellite.
minutes?
Yeah, so there are a lot of satellites that you can get essentially live photos. Now these are generally taken in like infrared or taken in a certain spectrum, so like they're not going to be true color photos, but like the actual features are correct. So in fact, there's something called Himawari 8, which is a that's fine. I know that it's not private. Let me in. Let me in. Usually, okay, I guess that's currently under attack. There's another one. It's called the Explore Satellite Live Image. I think that's what it's called. Is it called the what's the name of the satellite? Weather satellite. 5 photos. What is it called? Somebody in the comments will know what the name of that satellite's called. I should really note it down in my notes somewhere, but I think it's called the Explorer satellite?
NOAA 15? Some guy wrote in there?
Let's see. I don't think that this is the one that I'm thinking of, but it might be. Oh, it's Epic. That's what it's called. It's called Epic Explorer. Epic, or is it Epic Discover? Yeah, it's Epic Discover, not sorry. You can see how I would get confused between Epic Discover and Epic Explorer. Yeah, so for example, these are from today, and it's currently just playing them all here. So this photo is from, what time is it? It doesn't say what time it is. I think we could probably read off something. Oh, sorry, you can't see this. But you can just go through, and you can just look at different parts of the world at different times of the day.
Yeah.
And you can, like, see it. Like, this... It's there.
It's definitely round.
Definitely round. There's also, like, yeah, that's a good point. There's also live video from the ISS that you can, like, it's a 24/7 live video from, on YouTube. Just type in 24/7 ISS live.
Yeah.
Let me show you. Want a different one. Here's one. And let's scroll back a little bit. That was during the daytime. We just want to get some. Here we go.
So the measurements must be wrong then on their 8 inches over the squared mile. It has to be. If these measurements are right, because the guys have gone down to the salt flats and they're measuring, and they said there's no drop, and they're measuring over hundreds of miles.
I don't think that they're measuring over hundreds of miles.
You know what? Yeah, that's the
So
thing. You don't know if they're
generally,
telling the truth.
so generally, like, you should expect to get, like, really detailed numbers from these people, but they never give you detailed numbers. Which, is just a general trend amongst flat earthers. They rarely ever actually run good experiments or run actual, like, detailed stuff. They just say, oh, well, we can see this too far. Like, they never actually, like, run calculations or anything. So, that should give you pause.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like I said, I'm, like, on the fence. I'm looking at what they're saying, and if what they're saying is true, right, and they're not lying, then it would make sense that it's flat or the measurements are wrong for the curvature. Right? But it's not, like you said, they're not given the exact measurements. Maybe they're lying.
And they're never reproducible either.
Yeah, they can't reproduce on a regular basis. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, good information. Good conversation, I guess. I wanted to talk to somebody about it because I've been looking at it thinking, what the hell's going on? Why are these flat earthers running their mouths off with no backing? Right?
Yeah.
But if that satellite is accurate, that's pretty cool.
It is, yeah, and it's not just a U.S. thing. There's also the Japanese space program, the Himawari 8 satellite, which you can also look up. I think it's just down right now.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for being here, Daryl. Hope you have a good one.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Thanks.
All right, y'all. So we only have 14 minutes left in the live stream, and I think I need to take more Dayquil. So I think I'm going to read some super chats, and then we will call it a day there. But we will do more of this again tomorrow. Not this topic, but we'll do another debate live tomorrow. So from Battle Dad with the 5 pounds, failed Masters of Science here, and I could answer that question. But now I am a visual effects artist, and I make a ton of fake NASA pictures, so it all worked out fine. Got him. Nice one. Econoclodge with the $2. Blitz, release the banjo supercut. Maybe I will. Duke of Shaska says release Roger. Okay. The people have asked. Maybe we'll do that. Steve Bruce, thank you for the $2, Steve. I appreciate you. Mike Gurney says he was a civil engineer and earth scientist. He doesn't use gravity, he uses a shovel. True. Thank you so much, Mike Gurney, for the 5 pounds. And we have $2 from Steve Bruce. I use Coriolis calculation for long-range shots. Yeah. If you're doing artillery stuff, you absolutely have to. If you're a sniper, you probably don't need it. House with the $10. Thank you so much, House. Let's get a W House in the chat. Funny how the callers always have questions they didn't research, are shown proof, then leave without learning anything. That's the general trend, yes. Gretchen with the $3. Let's go PhD free. It's your moment. Yeah. Hellfire says $5. That first time-lapse video you showed, the last guy was fake. The rock formation on the right-hand side is the delicate arch in Utah. Oh, could be. Could be. But there's a whole slew of them, so you just got to pull one up. I mean, like, or alternatively, if you don't buy it, just go to Ecuador, right? You can do that. And then Michael, thank you for the $5, Michael. Listening to the anxiety in that fake engineer's voice as you were exposing him as peak took me back to childhood memories of being caught in a lie. Yeah, just don't lie to me, especially about, like, you could probably lie to me about stuff I don't know, but don't lie to me about stuff that I do know. That's just a mistake. And Garain with the $5, for as much as you bring it up, you should have a prepared diagram showing the flight paths on the Gleason map. I could, but I kind of like doing it in real time. Maybe I'll put together a diagram or something though. And Real Harnold with the $2, Icy Spin is a globe po. Okay. Look, so if you guys want access to my notes, which have all of almost everything that I've mentioned today, you can find it in my notes. Let's just pull that up really quick. Oops, wrong browser. If you guys want access to my notes, these, which has basically everything on Flat Earth that you could hope for, as well as stuff on like the pyramids and the moon landing and climate change and all this lovely stuff, as well as other topics like theism and so on, you guys should become members on the YouTube channel or on TikTok. Sorry, not on TikTok, on the YouTube channel or on Patreon. I update this up pretty regularly. In fact, I added recently a new section on evolution in my Young Earth tab. So there's a Young Earth tab over here. I added a theism or a evolution section with a whole bunch of resources and notes and stuff. So it could be useful if you ever get into conversations for yourself. Of course, you don't need it, but it's a useful thing to consider. And it's like $4 or $5 a month, so it's really not that bad, and you'd be supporting someone that you watch. Anyway, so that is, last thing. Join the Discord. If you're 18 plus, there's a Discord server, and we now have a new admin who's running the Discord server really well. Shout out to Lilith. She's running the server really well, doing a really good job of making the Discord server pop. There's a whole bunch of new features, so check it out if you're 18 plus. Come on by. There's a few thousand of you already. We could always use a few more. All right, everybody. I'm going to head out, going to drink some tea, maybe some coffee, take some Dayquil, and then I have some work to do. But I will see you guys tomorrow for some more debates, and maybe you guys can decide in the comments, in Discord, of course, which debate topic you want. Oh, sorry, a few more things. Shaky Toes sent $5. M-Chem here and longtime TikTok lurker. Love the streams and really enjoyed tonight's FLERF barbecue. Thanks from Scotland. I appreciate that. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss any Cash Apps or anything. Okay, it looks like I didn't miss any Cash Apps or Patreon anything. So that's it from me, y'all. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.